The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection brought back classic music, beautiful sprite work, and updated visuals, but launched with a default text font that looked like an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, Square Enix really spent millions remastering legendary artwork only to print the dialogue in 12-point Arial.
It's incredible how a font can make a dark, epic fantasy monologue read like a corporate memo.
Yep, just sitting there staring at a godlike entity that wants to destroy the world, but the text on the screen makes you feel like you're doing your taxes.
Did you know that the console releases of the Pixel Remaster Collection added built-in boost toggles that let you turn off random encounters and multiply your EXP by 4?
Yeah, they basically built an officially licensed I have a full-time job and a mortgage now cheat code directly into the menu.
It completely redefines the classic grind when you can max out your level in a single afternoon.
Well, back in my day, it took 40 hours of blood, sweat, and tears to beat these games, and now you can do it on your lunch break while eating a sandwich.
Yeah, Final Fantasy II is famous for filling its dungeons with empty rooms that drop you right into the center of the floor with an absurdly high encounter rate.
You open a door expecting legendary treasure, and instead it's just a 10 by 10 empty box full of angry goblins waiting to jump on you.
It's the game design equivalent of a jump scare combined with a dead end.
The real villain of Final Fantasy II wasn't the Emperor, it was the interior architect.
Saying sick burn after a sick burn makes the burn even sicker.
So the main antagonist of Final Fantasy V is Exdeath, an all-powerful armor-clad Dark Lord who turns out to be a sentient evil tree from a forest.
You spend 40 hours fighting a guy who could have theoretically been defeated by a localized outbreak of termites or a lumberjack with a bad attitude.
It gives a whole new meaning to the term environmental threat.
Born from bark, he's all bite, and he's bringing absolute destruction to the cosmos.
They're silly and they're goofy, mysterious and spoofy. Camco makes them loopy, the Backtrack family. Their podcast is a blast, talk games from the past. They break down every class, the Backtrack family.
Beat. Defeat. Complete.
They trash things they abhor, and praise things they adore. They never are a bore, the Backtrack family.
Boost Bruder! Snake! Snake!
Hello and welcome to RPG Backtrack, your regular deep dive into your favorite RPGs. We are a production of RPGamer.com, bringing you such fine podcasts like RPG Cast, your weekly RPG news show, Q&A Quest, your weekly RPG feedback show, and us, your bi-weekly RPG nostalgia show. I'm your host, Kelly Ryan, and with me, as always, my podcast partner in crime, the Cecil to my Rosa, Mr. Matt Mason.
Yeah. Also, I have been punching myself in the face all day. I have such stamina ready to go tonight with all this now. Maybe I did the Final Fantasy II thing the wrong way, but I think that's how I did it. Like, I got enough life to last through 6 games on this podcast.
No, that's how you do it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured.
The old stop hitting yourself wave grinding.
I did it at 4 times speed, though, so, I mean, it hurt a little harder, but it was over quicker.
You got to admit, the boost do make that so much easier.
It's always there. Oh, all of them easier, yes.
Joining me this fine podcast, that one voice you heard, that was Ryan Radcliffe?
Correct. Welcome, fellow Gooners.
I got the voice right.
As in dragoons.
Heyo. We've also got Pascal.
Hey, I don't have anything clever.
And Wheels.
Hello. I also have nothing clever.
That's okay. And we are talking the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters tonight. Now, you may be expecting minor tactical grab bag. We had to do some shuffling to account for more guests, but it'll benefit in your favor because that show is going to be awesome. We'll have tons of people on that show, I hope.
We had a minor tactical reshuffling of
Yes,
shows.
minor tactical snafu, if you will. But that's okay.
So that show
We've
is going to be
remastered this
awesome.
week.
Yes, we have.
That show is going to be awesome. But now,
Now,
This one's not.
yeah, that's right. That's the implication.
Sorry for this in advance.
Wait for the tactical graphics remaster. That was terrible.
what would you what would you guys say that these are the definitive editions of some very classic
They
Final
are
Fantasy games?
editions of some very
Yeah,
classic games.
they're versions of the game.
Yeah.
Games.
I prefer the words that Wheels and Scar just said. Yes,
They're
they are
games.
versions. They are games. Yep.
It's it's Square. They can't give you everything that they've already released in the past. They've got to do it in little tiny bits. I'm sure down the road we'll get Pixel Remastered's version 2 that have the DLC that was missing in some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
DLC is in I don't know, the after years.
No, there was some Game Boy Advance stuff that wasn't
Yeah.
in these games.
Ah,
Not
gotcha.
DLC so much, but like later editions had like an extra dungeon thrown in or stuff. I don't know what
Additions.
game it was.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you make a supposedly definitive versions of your classic games that aren't actually definitive versions of your classic games.
Oh,
Well,
It's
Wheels.
baffling to me.
Because your name is Square Enix. That's why.
Oh, did
So they
did
can
Square
release more
ever?
content.
Yeah, did they claim that these were the definitive versions?
I think they implied it.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone said that at one point.
They are the definitive versions of the original.
Well, they're certainly better than that remastered slop that they tried to pass off on Steam. I can't remember if they delisted that one or not.
Oh, is that the weird sprites?
Yeah, that they for some reason had it in their head that people didn't like pixel art, so
Mm.
yeah. Oh, nobody misses that version of Squeenix. But yeah, we are talking the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters tonight.
It's kind of hard to answer the question about what's the definitive version of a 40-year-old game. I don't even know how to really begin to think about that. What would be definitive?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, well, these games certainly took away the difficulty. So if you just wanted to breeze through the games, you could play these. And
The tedium of grinding.
tedium of grinding, enemies didn't hit as hard. Final Fantasy 1, what was it? The War Tech? What was his name?
The War Mech.
War Mech. Yeah, he was a joke. In the original Final Fantasy, you step on that one tile and it's pretty much a game over if you're not
Mm.
ready to fight.
I don't think I found him.
Oh, I've got one friend, my best friend growing up, best man at my first wedding. He never got into playing RPGs, but like he would talk when we were in college still about when we were young and stepping on that one tile that one time that he played Final Fantasy. Like there's like this one core memory of his that may be the reason he never played RPGs anymore.
Yep. Since we're talking about the originals, I have an admission. I had the original Final Fantasy 1 when I was a kid, and I didn't like it. That was technically my first RPG, and I told my dad to take it back to the store, and he bought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for me.
Oh, was Mbappe in that?
I
No
think
one
so.
listening is going to get that.
Yeah, and Mbappe wasn't born when that game was made.
He got ran over by a car, I think, and then he was never in the game again.
Oh, okay.
Matt, do you think that Nostradamus programmed TMNT?
Well, I mean, I don't see Nostradamus walking around with a turtle shell on. But in the past hour, I've seen Mbappe walk around with a turtle shell on.
We've seen some interesting stuff in the past hour.
We have, and most of it's been in Spanish.
We have. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a brief musical interlude, and then
Es muy bien.
when we come back, we shall get into all of the Pixel remasters, probably in order. So we'll
Claro.
be
Sure.
we'll be right back. And welcome back to RPG Backtrack, where we are now talking about the pixel remasters of the first 6 Final Fantasy games. First launched on July 28th, 2021 for iOS, Android, and Windows. I remember I guess it was it one of the last E3s that was online only? I think it was. I remember Squeenix having a presentation and them doing the pixel remaster kind of teaser, and then at the end, all they showed was iOS, Android, and PC,
Hmm.
and many were disappointed that
Mhm.
day.
Yeah, me. I was like, I'll get it when
Me.
it gets on the Switch.
Mm.
And I'm like, why would they do it like that? And Chris pointed out, so that they can charge you again for the console release.
Bingo.
Yep.
And they did.
Didn't work. I didn't buy him on PC or mobile. So there.
No, neither did I. I held out.
I held out too. The mobile versions were released 2 years later, April 19th, 2023 for PS4 and Nintendo Switch. And I remember them having a very expensive collector's edition that I kind of wanted, and then they shadow dropped that thing like at midnight when nobody was going to be online, and yeah.
Oh, people were online. What did that
Yeah, what was in it?
collection come with?
I remember it came,
Stickers?
yeah, what did it come with, Wheels?
I don't even remember. It's comes with the soundtracks on vinyl.
Yeah, that pissed me
What?
off.
Yeah.
You're
That's
talking
pretty
full
sweet.
What?
Yes.
full soundtrack. Nice.
Yeah.
How many records?
How many vinyls is
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, my goodness.
I don't have a record player, so I never took it out of there, but it came with like a digital code for the soundtracks too.
Okay.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because that was when, gosh, I'm blank. Jason was podcasting with us, and he said if I ever did get a hold of that edition, that he would happily buy the vinyl off of me, which I would have taken him up on, since I notoriously do not like vinyl. But that never happened, and I ended up Asiaing a physical edition. Because for some reason the original physical edition was like a Squeenix store only, and they all sold out. And then later, when they realized, hey, this might sell well, they did another print run.
And now you can get it. Well, I don't know about now, but at least for a while you can get it for pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, I think I got it for under $40 on Amazon within the past 12 months.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
weird because everything we're told is people hate old games and also people hate physical games. That's so weird.
That
Strange,
is
right?
weird.
It's like they're lying to you.
Mm.
That is, it's so weird that there seems to be a whole cottage industry of people making physical games and such. It's very strange.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go over these in order. Numerical order. We'll be doing them in our personal favorite order later. So Final Fantasy 1. I believe that this is somewhat based off of the WonderSwan version, if I'm not mistaken, since that was remade, and that's kind of the version that they've released, kind of based modern releases off of ever since. Though I was mildly disappointed that it wasn't more based off of the PSP version, because that has magic points instead of spell charges, and that totally breaks that game.
Mm.
Yeah, not
I
a.
like.
You-
I'm
you
team
like
spell
that?
charge. I
No.
like the spell charge. Then again, though, that's the nostalgia Final Fantasy player in me. I played Final Fantasy 1 a lot as a kid, so
Who needs spells? Just do 4 black belts and just.
well, there you go.
Punchy.
All physically, yep.
So everybody's party of choice who played Final Fantasy 1?
I just did the one of each. I did it the most vanilla and boring way possible.
I do black mage, white mage, red mage, and someone else.
Yeah, you
Usually
try to
not a
change it up.
mage.
Trying to play these games with like an all white mage crew is actually kind of challenging.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
do
what
it
I've
that
heard.
way when I played the Pix Remastered. I probably did warrior, black mage, red mage, and black belt or something like that. No thief. Thief's useless.
Really, because I usually run white mage, red mage, warrior, and thief. Because when thieves I think evasion stat maxes out, he that they get like maximum hits per uh turn and can do some crazy damage.
Yeah, but black belt can get maximum hits pretty early, and then they get that. They don't need any weapons. They're a very black belt's a very cheap job to use, and they're pretty offensively oriented. They're just kind of glass cannons. They can't take hits very well.
True.
I
Warrior's
think
great. It's just expensive.
I think I did the warrior, thief, black mage, white mage. I don't even remember what the other classes are. I know I didn't use a red mage.
I like the red mage because they got the fancy hat.
It's a cool
They
hat.
do look very good. Yes. I didn't
Red
play the
mage,
Pixel remaster, but I'm just like you, Pascal. I'm the basic bitch on parties in Final Fantasy One.
the red mage is my favorite class of all time.
Well, I've never played any of the classics other than six prior to this. So I try to go in blind, and since it's my first time playing any of the Final Fantasies, I'm just kind of like, whatever the game, I don't know, like it felt like that was the default kind of to me, like warrior, thief, what did I say, white mage, black mage. So I just went with it and just to see. So that lower difficulty that Scar was complaining about, I think that's for me.
Well, yeah. With the Pixel remasters, you get to turn the encounter rates on and off. You can boost your experience and money gains. So, like Kelly was talking about, you can make grinding a lot less tedious. And if you're in a pinch, you can just turn the encounter rates off and then, get out of a dungeon if you're, very close to death. But one of the great additions to the Pixel remasters was the map that's always available. It kind of just gives you like a bird's eye view of what's around, and the map also details the all the treasure chests in the area. So if you are looking to hunt down everything, you can chart it by just location, and it'll tell you if you've collected everything in those areas, which is really nice, really handy.
So it's true that that map is good. Now, this will prove how spoiled I am. Like trying to use the map in those games, it's nice to have it, like the overworld map with little blips on it that show you where the towns are. But then anytime an NPC refers to, you should go to such a town, and I look at the map like, where is that? I don't know which one of these dots is that town because and again, having never played these, and I've played it once now. Boy, there's not a lot of what's the word? There's not a lot of the towns don't have a lot of character in these games. So like everything
No.
is completely interchangeable. And when an NPC says you really need to go to such and such, I'm like, fuck. Now I gotta turn encounters off and travel everywhere until I accidentally get to the right one.
So maybe one of you guys know the original Final Fantasy for NES. Did it come with a map like in the box?
I couldn't tell you.
Don't
I
think
don't
so.
remember. I
Because I just remember the first four Dragon Quests that came out on NES had so much stuff in the box. Like the third one had an adventure guide or whatever that kind of led you through a lot of the game. I remember the first one had a huge map of the game world, and on the back it had a map of every dungeon. Same with the second game, the fourth game. Dragon Quest IV was huge, and it had like, I don't know, 53 spots on the world map. And when you got to the final chapter, when you were finally supposed to go all over the world, like everything was numbered like in the exact order. It's like, oh, where do I go next?
Wow.
Oh, the next number on the map. So I as a kid, like I was fine with all those games. I didn't get lost.
That was Enix. Did Square do stuff like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Those would be completely separate back then. So I don't
They
know.
had maps in at least the Super Nintendo games. I just can't
Okay,
remember if it was in the
if the
Nintendo
first
ones
one,
as
yeah.
well. They also in the Game Boy games. I remember Final Fantasy like well, technically those aren't Final Fantasies, but like the Legends had maps and
Oh,
adventures.
it did. So the original Final Fantasy for NES came packaged with a massive fold-out map of the game world.
And Pascal, you're talking about the towns not having any character. Well, what about the one town where you find Link's graveyard?
Yes. What was that town
Whoa, whoa,
called?
whoa!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh no, no, I was gonna say. So you're right. It is Link's. You find Link's grave,
Yeah, you
right?
could find his headstone. Yeah.
Was an
Do you know who
origin.
it?
Yeah, it was originally Eldrick.
Erdrick. Yeah.
Edric.
Yep. In the original one, they were making fun of Dragon Quest.
So when did they change that? In just for the Pixel remaster, is that one of the additions?
Oh no, I think even the Game Boy one.
Okay, okay.
By
Yeah,
then
so
they'd already won that battle, so they were like, "Pfft, nobody knows what Dragon Quest is.
so that's
It's
very
making a more
true. But
relevant
Scar,
joke.
what town was that in?
Yeah, that one town.
Okay.
That one, yeah.
And where was it on the map again? How do I find it? It was
It,
it
it,
was
in
that
it
dot,
was
right?
right there on the map. It was
Yeah,
right
near
There's
the
that
there.
blip.
beginning.
There's a blip you had to fly to. Got it.
Yes,
Yep.
you nailed it.
Well, what was I complaining about? So easy to navigate in these games.
Well, that's the thing. Like I remember that, in the first four Dragon Quests, and like ever since then, I've seen people complain about those games. Like, oh, I don't know how to get through this. I've been going through that thing, and I'm like, "Pfft, back in the day, it just came with a map. You didn't even worry about it.
I
So,
mean, it's not the signposting isn't great, but I got to be real honest. I mean, just I honestly expected something far more primitive than what I got. And I know the graphics are, remastered and all that. Like I know this doesn't look the same as the old Nintendo game, but like the bones that are in there is still the same. And I thought Final Fantasy One would be like I thought that even like a a 2 sentence story would be more than what I was getting here. Like I mean, like I thought there would be nothing. And so I was kind of like somewhat pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you're the warriors of light. You got to go track down all the crystals. You got to fight the elemental fiends, and then you got to time travel and beat up chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That gave
along the
me,
way, you meet a pirate named Beaky, and he goes, "Yar!"
that gave me nightmare flashbacks to Stranger of Paradise.
Well, I mean, that is a
You
retelling
mean
of Final Fantasy
joyful,
one.
No,
dream,
I do
joyful
not.
dreams of playing Stranger in
Joyful
Paradise?
dreams. There was one joyful dream when I rolled credits on Stranger. Anyway,
Hater.
that was a completely different. We've covered all that ground before.
Strangers of Paradise, as an aside, I beat that game too. It was, it was a game. It did
Yeah.
have the ending cinematic which was very reminiscent of when Darth Vader shows up in Rogue One and just starts decimating all the little peons. That's kind of what happens with Garland at the end of Strangers of Paradise. That's what it reminded me of, at least.
Well, I liked the pixel remaster of Final Fantasy One more than Stranger of Paradise,
Wow.
so it was okay.
My
Yeah,
computer almost blew up when
Meh.
I was playing when I was streaming Strangers of Paradise. So
when you were streaming pixel remaster.
no, I punched Beaky the pirate and my like my computer shut down. I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't stream
Yeah,
this anymore.
the PC version for that is not well optimized.
Ah,
I guess would be a nice way to put it.
but they do a good job with the first game. They make it a little more streamlined. You can get in, collect all the things you need to advance, and then you get your advanced jobs, which makes, changes everyone's sprites and makes them a little bit better. And you get, you unlock new weapons and magic and whatnot.
I just think
So-
I think they made it a little too easy.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I wish there was some version of this game that was as hard as the original, but also didn't play as god awful slow as the original NES version does.
Well, you got the Game Boy versions.
Yeah.
Could you? It doesn't have sliders for damage sliders and stuff like that.
No.
No.
Does it not? Okay, I don't know what I played recently that has that then. Okay, well, in that case, I'm with you. Like, it would have probably been nothing to include an option to toggle on like classic difficulty or something like that. But Me, I just want to. I don't even know if I'm ever going to play it again. Like, I'm glad I played it, kind of a thing, you know. Like I wanted to. But a lot of these, it may just be a one and done. So I want something that I can just. I mean, I got it on Switch on purpose. I want to play it in short bursts. I don't want to be caught up on a bunch of challenge for like there's other games that play for that now. So that's perfect to me. I just want to like one and done, nice and quick if possible. I mean, how long does it take? Like maybe like 12 to 15 hours, and that's with combat turned on, of course.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
Yeah, no,
No.
and so
Yeah.
I like that lesser challenge, but no, I agree. Why not include a classic option?
Now, Pascal, well, they did have a toggle in the game, but that was to switch the music from the original
Mhm.
version of the game to the remastered version. Did you enjoy switching between those two?
Oh, I don't know if I tried. What is it like? Horrible? Is it like meaty chip tunes or something?
Yeah, the original Nintendo sounds.
Are you being sarcastic when
Oh
you
no,
say
I'm being
enjoy?
honest.
Okay.
All of the games have that option. Yeah.
No, no, yeah, no, I believe you, but do you enjoy them?
I mean, it takes me back. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
I'll try
enjoy
it.
I mean, in the newer games, I prefer the original music,
Yeah,
but the
I was gonna
remastered,
say the Super Nintendo games definitely prefer the original music.
yeah. But the
Mhm.
The
Nintendo
other
ones, the
ones,
remasters are actually pretty nice.
yeah,
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I don't think I've messed around with that yet. The only time I ever even turn off the random encounters is if, like I said, when I don't know where I'm supposed to go and I know I'm going to be combing the entire map, and I
Mm.
don't feel like doing that with the encounter rates. So I'll turn that off briefly, and then when I'm back on track to where I'm supposed to go, encounters come back on. Because I mean, I I wasn't like following a guide, so I don't know. Like you were saying, like four black belts, like all the little tricks that like veterans know on how to make the game easier. I don't have that.
No, I mean that's just me just goofing off. Like that, you've played this game a couple times. You try different setups just to see what works and what's really difficult. If you want
Yeah,
a difficult run of Final Fantasy 1, play all four white mages, baby.
but I'm wondering, how do you get past any boss battles if you just keep the encounters off?
You
Yes.
just go grind.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you want to play it without the encounters, if you just turn off battles, then won't you get stuck on the first boss?
Challenge accepted.
Okay.
Speed run, no encounters. Level 1 run. Let's do it.
And I like random encounter games, like general, like I don't even it's made me realize that I don't get to play very many of them anymore. And like these are kind of enjoyable. And having the option to like fast forward through battle, like that's perfect. It took me almost all of Final Fantasy 1 to figure out which button fast forwards battle, by the way.
Well, hold
Not
on,
that
hold
it's
on. You can't fast forward battle. You got to turn on auto battle to do fast forward, right?
Hmm.
Yes, that is
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like you talked, it would be nothing to just add the like difficulty slider. It also would have been nothing to add like a speed up function to the battles that didn't automatically also make it auto. Like I know that annoyed me when I was playing the third one.
Well,
I was
that
like, really?
But is it auto? I mean, like they just repeat the previous action.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. But it
So
is auto. It's picking
it
the
is
previous
it is
action.
auto, but there's like some small
Oh,
degree
it
of
speeds it up. Oh yeah, it does.
yeah. No, I mean, but you can set certain characters to certain actions, and you can interrupt at any time.
Oh, you
Um,
can.
there's
Well,
a,
you can
there's a little bit,
interrupt.
yeah.
I
There's a
mean,
little bit
with
of
the first ones.
flexibility, is what I was
Oh,
trying
there
to
is.
say.
Yeah. No, I had friends tell me like, oh, you don't need a speed up. Just hit auto, and then as it gets
Yeah.
to the end of the turn, turn auto off. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's something that like modern games have though. Like just speed up commands these days. Like
It's
that's a
not
little
it's not
annoying.
Disgaea. It doesn't play itself. Sorry, okay. It's not
Well,
Disgaea 6, I should say. It doesn't just play itself, but the grind it kind of takes off your hands.
mhm.
Like we said in the jokes, over 40 with a mortgage mode.
Yeah.
well, one thing that they did remove in the Pixel remasters that was nice in Final Fantasy 1 in the original, if you attacked an enemy that died
Mm.
with another character, they would also attack that empty space.
Oh,
So they got
okay.
rid of that because if that was set up in auto battle, that would be really
You would
annoying.
just, yeah,
Just
attack that
smacking a
space
dead
forever.
spot.
Yeah.
I call that the Lufia problem, where the character's just smacking dead air.
And one thing that they don't do in the early ones, you can tell me if the pixel remasters of some of the later ones maybe do it again. I remember like Final Fantasy VI, um, if if a character dies but somebody else was set to attack that enemy, I should have said if an enemy dies, then they just attack another random one. But what I've noticed in the first couple of pixel remasters is they just go in order from front to back. So it never like randomizes which enemy is getting attacked next.
I,
At least not in the early ones. So I don't know if that's different when you get to like six, for example.
I don't remember. I do like that the speed up option, as far as your characters moving around, is there.
Mm,
Hmm.
In the original, he did not have that. You walked at a snail's pace.
mm.
So that's another way that this game kind of streamlines the whole journey. Is you zip around the map.
You know what? I kind of lied earlier when I was talking about going around the map because I don't know where towns are. Because there is actually a version of the map in the game that does have town names listed.
Yeah, the treasure listings will give you the map, and then you can kind of toggle to the different areas, and you can see it highlighted on the map, and it'll point it out for you.
Hold on, I have Final Fantasy 2 up. I was looking for it forever earlier, and I couldn't figure out where it
Wait, you
was.
have Final Fantasy 2? What's the password?
What's the password? What do you mean?
That's like Final Fantasy 2's gimmick is with the using like secret codes.
Oh, what's the
Oh,
what the hell you were talking about?
what's that? It's called
What the key term?
Key,
You want me to tell you
key
the
yeah.
key
terms. That's
term?
it. Yep.
I'll tell you what the key term is for, like as far as I've gotten so far.
Isn't it like Wild Rose is like the one of the
The
first
first
ones?
one, yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
The key term right now is Sunfire. Does that mean anything to you? No.
No, it's not ringing a bell right now.
So I don't even know where it is. Like there's a map in game and I can't find it. I have no clue, but it is there. I've stumbled on it and it has actual like names of towns. So I guess I lied earlier. It is possible to navigate a little bit more
Well, yeah,
efficiently.
three had it. I could scroll through and see where things were.
So, with Final Fantasy One, as far as the story, you are tasked with saving the princess. You go to this castle, you beat up this bad guy named Garland. He's kind of a twerp. And then you do the rest of the story. You collect the crystals, and then you kind of come right back around to this starting castle, and there's Garland waiting for you again. Did you guys enjoy that whole kind of like time travel aspect of Final Fantasy One?
I thought it was very interesting for an old school RPG to have that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
It seemed that timey-wimey crazy plots just seemed like a 16-bit RPG thing or even a
Yeah,
32-bit.
that's what I meant earlier with when I said I thought it was going to be way more primitive, and I was kind of surprised that it wasn't. So yeah, that was good. I mean, it was still just I don't know it. Even that twist is just an excuse to go to like another dungeon, kind of. But
They ran out of room on the map. They're like, what do we do? Reuse an old castle. Just throw another dungeon in there.
yeah, I mean, so like the plot outline is a little interesting. The delivery of the plot, obviously, couldn't be very good with like the restrictions on memory at that time. So you get what you would expect out of a 40-year-old game in that regard. That's all good.
So do we want to move on to Final Fantasy 2?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's beat ourselves up so we can get some stat boosts.
It's funny that one of you mentioned the keyboard thing because I'm playing a Trails into Daybreak, and that has that in a
Hmm.
way. It's not like crazy like the Final Fantasy where you can like use random keyboards on random people, but when you get quests, you can hit a button to give them a keyword to prompt stuff, and it was just interesting to me that that showed up again.
sh Showed up again. I mean, like again, look, think about how old that game is. That's what
Yeah.
so what I was just saying about narrative delivery. Boy, that's quite a leap forward for Final Fantasy 2. That's a lot more refined. I mean, the story itself, I don't know how great it is. It's not been particularly noteworthy so far for me, but
It's
um,
Final
Hey,
Fantasy 2 story is not nothing special.
it's still an 18, 8, no, not 18, excuse me, 8-bit RPG. But I think even just trying to do more
Yeah.
story for a game that old was kind of impressive, even if it's not the best.
But just the
Yep.
fact that they thought of that system, and like the fact that occasionally some like dialogue interactions are a little like a mini puzzle element, like using that word very lightly here, but I don't know if it was the first game that did anything like that. Now, my guess would be probably no, because I don't know, games have been doing stuff forever, but that's really cool. That's probably the oldest game I've ever played that had that system in it.
It's definitely interesting. I really like how Final Fantasy 2 starts, where you just get annihilated by a bunch of Dark Knights. You start off with these four orphans, I think, and then you lose one of them, and he doesn't show up again until the end of the game, and then that fourth party member kind of swaps in and out throughout the whole story.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's good and it's bad, because when you get back to the final party, at the end, the fourth party member is his stats just pale in comparison if you've been leveling up at a decent rate with everyone else. So you kind of have to pick up the pace with him and have him catch up.
Having the dialogue system occasionally use keywords that you have to learn, it causes me to like pay slightly closer attention to the dialogue and the story, because I have to, figure out when a certain character will be beneficial for me to mention like a certain thing. Like, I mean, it's actual dialogue rather than just an NPC repeating the same sentence over and over in some cases.
Yeah, and you have to unlock new words by providing, old words to someone, and that unlocks like a new
Yeah.
dialogue tree, which then opens up more, keywords and
Like every time I learn a new word, it feels like I've made progress. I'm like, oh, sweet. Now I can potentially get further somewhere else with a different part of the quest.
and now you got to just talk to everyone else and just toggle through all the words and make sure you're not missing
Yeah.
something.
That part's still really crappy. In fact, I would say, like you said, the four characters are orphans. Man, these are even compared to Final Fantasy One, the four warriors of light had more personality than these characters. Like the characters in Final Fantasy Two are horrible.
Yeah, doesn't one get like crushed by a rock, like an avalanche? Or
Yeah,
something?
one of those one of those interchangeable like fourth party members that you gets there's a boulder running towards you in like one of the dungeons, and he says, basically he goes, everybody get out, I'll hold up the boulder, and then I guess he gets crushed. But that's okay, because by then you kind of figured out that this is really meant to be, it's a party of three, and every now and then you'll get a fourth guest character,
Yeah.
and that's who that is. So
Now, I've dabbled in the original of Final Fantasy 2. I will say the Pixel Remaster, the way that they've streamlined the stat progression, because you don't level up in Final Fantasy 2 after battles. If you've met a certain parameter of attacks or defense, or been hit enough or used enough magic, one of your stats will raise based on what you've been doing in battle, which is what we were talking about. If you beat yourself up, you'll get more hit points. That's kind of how, it was done in the original. But in this version, it felt like they did it more naturally, kind of like probably how they had intended it to work originally.
I mean, that's a good joke if you want to power level in that game. You don't have to do that. It's just a way that people found to, I guess, power level, but it's not something that's ever required.
so
No,
is
it's
that
like
still
grind.
possible?
It's the version of grinding.
Yeah.
You don't always have to grind. You don't always have to smack yourself.
And once again, the boosts totally break it. It kind of makes it so that you really don't have to smack yourself as much.
Did any characters stand out for you guys in Final Fantasy 2?
Well, I was just saying, I think the characters are dog water in that game. So you,
What's funny to me is that the NPCs have more personality than the PCs.
yeah, or the guest characters maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Like
Scar,
n-
you were just talking about the one that gets crushed by a rock. I bet you don't remember anything that happens to your actual party members in that game.
I remember he gets crushed by a rock, and then a white mage joins you afterwards, Minwu, or was that before?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Carry on.
It's Joseph is the one that gets crushed by. That's
Joe,
what I'm saying. Those are more memorable than like your main party.
you get like a prince, and then like a pirate girl joins you. And then you fight the Emperor, and then you kill the Emperor, and then you fight the Undead Emperor. Ooh. You go to Pandemonium, I think is the final dungeon in that game, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm still in the middle of it. Can say.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's okay. I figured they all end with like fighting. I don't know. I think I like from a historical perspective, I like what they did to kind of like change things up for the second one.
Yeah,
Other
you
than
could tell that they were trying something different
yeah,
with like instead of leveling up.
having only
Um,
played those two now, it feels like super distinct. The second one does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not in a bad way.
two is definitely not like gonna win any awards for the one greatest 8-bit RPG or anything, but it's definitely very interesting because you can see how it influenced later games in the series.
yeah,
Mm.
it influenced the Saga series. The Saga series, like, we're gonna take that concept and run
Eh,
with it.
I really don't think it did as much as people think, honestly. I think more like how it handled story events and things like that influenced like Final Fantasy and probably some other Square Enix RPGs going forward. Maybe just the idea of non-traditional leveling bleeds over into Saga. But I
Mm.
mean,
Definitely.
like those games didn't do anything story-wise like this game did for a long time.
Then is two the last one of the Final Fantasies that does that? The stat increases. After that, they go to different. Then eventually we go to a job system, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
Yeah.
you could tell they were changing.
eventually the next game.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they went from just traditional leveling up to beating yourself up to job system, and then
Um,
four was a traditional leveling up, but your characters are defined.
You got a couple different things going on there, yeah.
this is real nitpicky, but one thing I don't really care for that they're doing in two is gear and trying to like get new gear. I'm one of those people who my first instinct is always going to be to hit the optimal button for gear selection. And they do have that, but I don't understand why, because every character can basically dual wield. So your optimal damage output is always going to be a weapon in each hand, but I don't want that. Like most of my fighters have, like he's holding a sword and in the other hand is a shield. But the optimal button will replace that shield with a second weapon. I'm pretty sure that I'm remembering that correctly. And worse than that, if you go shopping for gear in a store, every weapon is going to show you like the little green arrow pointing up saying this one increases your damage output, because if you equip that weapon in the second slot, then you have two weapons. Like every weapon is an increase, but that would then delete your shield from your inventory. Like, does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, it's a dumb system.
They tried because in the original
Yeah,
they
they
didn't have
tried.
they had your weapon stores and you could buy gear, but it didn't really tell you if that gear was better or worse, and they didn't have the optimize option
It
yet.
just doesn't work with the way that they wanted their characters to be able to dual wield weapons.
Right, yeah.
So
In two, you could dual wield naturally, so most of the characters it benefited them just to do
if you
that.
wanted for doing damage, yes, that I get. But if you want to play any other way than that, it's kind of uh, um oh, I lost my train of oh, so basically I have two options if I want to, like, anytime I go looking for a new weapon or anytime I even find one in the field. Option one is memorize what everybody has equipped, so I know whether something is a beneficial change to that character, or go painstaking, like into the shop menu, look at the weapon, back out of the shop menu, look at the character screen, at the equipment screen, and compare. Then close that and go back to the shop menu to actually buy the thing if I want it. Like, it should be way more streamlined. I mean, you could tell that they wanted it to be streamlined and then like designed against their own best intentions somehow. I don't know. It's just a nitpick. I get it, but I sure hope that they figure that out for the third one.
Well, yeah, the third one you can't dual wield naturally.
In the Pixel remaster, you can.
I thought you needed
I dual
Ninja?
wield the whole game.
oh, okay, then I'm probably thinking of five then. Never mind.
I don't know about the original, but yeah, in the Pixel remaster of three, it because everything that Pascal's saying is yeah. Anytime I hit optimal, because I mean that's what I did, it would just dual wield the whole game.
Well, Pascal, if you don't like to use the optimal option, don't use it then.
No, so I like it. What?
I mean, but then it takes away from your shields and stuff. So it's You
So
have
I
to
don't,
backtrack.
right. That's why I don't use it.
Yeah. So don't
That's
use
my complaint. I would like to use it.
He needed the optional or the optimal and the Pascal optimal button. He
What
needs two
is
different buttons.
what exactly would that be? What am I saying right now?
You need balance. That's what it is. Like, because optimal is just obviously doing the best attack, apparently.
the game doesn't know how you want to gear your characters, so you have to do
Correct.
it manually.
If it's not doing what you like, just don't use it. Just pick everything yourself.
Whew. That's why I prefaced this by saying this
Listen,
is a nitpick.
We bought the Pixel remaster, so we didn't have to do anything ourselves.
We are not optimizing Pascal's
I mean-
conversation.
Can we boost through this conversation and get to the next game?
Anyone else have anything else to say about Final Fantasy II?
This game gets a bad rap. It's fine.
It
Oh,
gets a bad
yeah.
rap because compared to a lot of the other Final Fantasies, it doesn't really hold up.
Hey, can I ask which Final Fantasy is the one that gets the worst rap? Is it this one?
15.
It's
It's
Oh no, okay,
13.
fair enough. 13 and 15.
I feel
Also, Stranger of Paradise.
I honestly feel like this one, 8 and 13 are the ones that get the most shit.
Well, I do mean from the
Oh,
first
8,
six.
yeah.
So from the ones we're going to be talking about. So this is going to
Oh,
be
definitely this one.
Definitely.
2 and 3, I think,
two,
get a
three.
lot of.
Yeah, I don't see
hate.
why.
I'll tell you what. I agree with that, Wheels, because my memory of playing through 2 on the Game Boy Advance, there's a version for that,
Yeah.
an Advance, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely, I enjoyed. I just played 3 Pixel Remaster, and I was like, ugh, golly, give me
But
1 and
imagine-
2 on the Game Boy Advance.
Imagine it's 1987 or whenever this came out. Like this is stuff you would have never seen before.
I mean,
And it
I've seen a
works.
lot of 8-bit RPGs that are much worse than this game. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand it's definitely low on the list of as far as Final Fantasy goes, but it
Yeah,
is
haven't you
Oh,
played
definitely
Willow?
is definitely
gonna say-
higher up on the list of like best 8-bit RPGs because there is a lot of garbage.
Oh, you don't have to tell Scar that, and he's thinking of 16-bit. That's
Yeah.
garbage.
Was
I mean,
Willow
playing all the
Super
garbage.
game? I don't even remember.
I mean,
Scar, you just reviewed Seven Saga.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's great.
I feel like
isn't that a
this is
16-bit one anyway?
It is.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
mixing our bits. We got our
real
bits
quick.
all mixed up.
Mixing
I-
bits.
I feel like I heard somewhere that one of the reasons why this one wasn't localized was because they thought it was going to be too hard.
What are you
for West-
talking about? I have Final Fantasy II on my Super Nintendo.
Yeah, your hacked Super Nintendo.
No. It says Final Fantasy 2 right on the
Okay.
sticker.
Give me a moment to get the joke. Hello.
I don't,
Yeah, no,
I honestly
sorry.
don't think it was that. I think 1 just came out so late that at that point they were just going to bring 4 over.
So I
True.
actually recently saw someone talking about this. As far as the first 3 Final Fantasies, they were on the Nintendo, and Square was rivaling with Enix at the time with Dragon Quest, and Dragon Quest was getting ready to release Dragon Quest 4 on the Nintendo, and Square was like, well, we're not going to be able to release Final Fantasy 4 on the Nintendo, which is what they intended to do on time. So they opted to wait and then release the 4th game on the Super Nintendo, so that they were technically the first, RPG company to, between those 2 companies to release their flagship on that new system. So
Yeah.
they were behind on, releasing the 4th game, but they were ahead releasing it on the newer console.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Enix didn't even bring over the Dragon Quest Super Nintendo games.
No,
Nope.
they did not.
I guess Square they really beat him in submission.
Enix saw Mystic Quest and they're like, we can't compete with that.
Where's my pixel remaster of Mystic Quest?
You don't need that.
Yes, we do. Stop hating on Mystic Quest. It's fun.
Somebody
It's
just
fine.
played that for JRPG July, I think.
I'm
Well,
staring at a
speaking of
box Mystic
JRPG
Quest.
July, I played the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster 3. You can read a few weeks of my thoughts on it on
Yeah,
our
don't
JRPG July.
don't go cry in a river because you start this game as Onion Knights.
Yes. I played this game. Actually, the only time I'd ever played this before was on the DS. They did a 3D version of this, and I loved that version. I
That
thought that
version's
was a
kind of
I
hard.
blast.
much prefer that version to this or
I
any version of 3.
I much prefer that version too. I mean, I remember even being on like the Game FAQ boards and trying to find someone to share DS codes with, because that's how you got the Onion Knight, which was like super powerful in that game.
I never beat
Uh,
the DS version because I got to like the Crystal Tower and then I would get to this dragon boss, maybe I can't remember, but he would just mollywop my group, and I'd have to
oh well,
restart the dungeon and try it
you were
again. And
supposed to. You're supposed to lose that. Well, I mean, you're supposed to run away. I remember that. So that's kind of, I don't know, a few hours into the game.
oh no, that's
I
like very long, like end of the game kind of.
Oh, and yeah, let me tell you, I got stuck towards the end of the game. Even with my EXP set to 2 times, I was like, oh, I guess you should have put this to 4 times earlier. But I just played this in the past 2 weeks, and yeah, one of the encounters early on that I've completely forgotten the DS version of this at all. I remember having fun with it. I remember trading codes online with people to get the hidden unlock. I guess not hidden, but the unlock for that Onion Knight, which was like the best job in the game on that version. Here it was like your basic bitch,
That's how it. Yeah,
nothing.
that's how it was originally. Was the
Yeah, I was
first.
supposed to just, yeah, I figured as much since this is remaking the original or polishing it up.
So
But
yeah, in Pixel
I
Remaster 3, you get all the job classes. So that's the change up that they
that is
added
the
in the third game.
big difference. Yeah, and the jobs unlocked, unlike number one where you had all the jobs, and then at one point you had all the second versions of the jobs. In this game, every time you what is it, rescued a crystal, got the crystal, beat the boss of a crystal, you kept getting new jobs like throughout the whole game. Like
Which is
even in the
fun.
last
Yeah,
dungeon.
playing
Yeah, that was fun.
playing the
Yep.
different jobs is fun. The problem is like I think you're alluding to is at the end of the game you get the option of unlocking the specialty jobs or the master jobs. You get ninja and sage, and at
hmm
that point, like there's really no point in customizing your group. You just want two ninjas and two sages, and then you can just destroy everything.
And that is how I beat the game because I kept going. The end of this game, there is basically a boss rush mode that you can't save. And for everybody that beat this back on the NES back in the day, more
Yeah,
power to you
yeah,
because
props.
I had to reset twice in the Pixel Remaster because I was just flying through, and I know it said something like, "Oh, once you do this," or maybe I just saw that somewhere, and I went through and I fought, the person you think's the boss the whole time, beat him, and then you fall down, and then I just kept walking around and wondering like, why can't I get back? Why can I not get back to where I was? Like I'm screwed. I had almost no potions, no nothing. I didn't switch to Sage and that, so I kept just getting destroyed by dragons that were guarding the dark crystals. And I'm like, why can I not do anything? Like I can't heal. Like at this point, I'm like, either I use all my elixirs, there's nowhere to fully heal. So I think I wandered around for like an hour, just like slowly running out of spell charges from my mages. And finally, like I messaged a friend and they're like, no, dude, you can't get out of that area. Just beat if you beat one of the crystal people, then you can heal for free at any point. And I'm like, I can't beat any of them. So I finally had to, okay, reset. Lost like an hour or two
That
there.
sucks.
And then I was leveling up, like, okay, I'm going to do this better, whatever. And I accidentally stepped into the room and it started the sequence again. I'm like, oh my God, I did this again. That one was on me. First time, you got me. Second time, I got myself. Scored an own goal, should say.
Own
But
goal.
then I was like, okay, yeah, I can't remember who's like, I was like, wait a minute. I got these jobs. Shouldn't I just do these? And my God, I've had gold set to 4 times the whole game. Can't I just buy like 50 of these shurikens and
Oh, that's what you would use.
yep, and just yeah, that made those boss battles quite trivial. And then the sage just casting Kuragja
Yep.
with the J, whatever, just yep. Which I also forgot to buy somewhere, so I had to go back and find that. I tried, I think, to go a little too fast because I was doing really well, and with the XP doubled up and just sticking with jobs. The dragoons, you made your dragoon joke earlier, Scar. They were awesome in this game for until I needed to not have them and needed better things. I had 2 of them, and I had the blood spears on them, and they just jumped every other turn and landed and healed themselves every other turn with the massive amount of damage they were doing, and then getting half that damage back. That was great. But yeah, I got fooled a couple times in the game, and one was early on. You go up and you got to fight a dragon. Is that Bahamut? That's the dragon at the top of the mountain, or somebody early in the game.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
it tells you that they're super powerful and you got to run away. And I didn't. I thought, I was like, oh, this is probably just a scripted one. No, it was not scripted. I got the game over and had to reload from a save. I was like, oh, crap. But then I was like, oh, yeah, it flat out told me you need to run away. There was a lot of fun moments with this game, though. I really loved the whole first sequence. And I mean, it just cracked me up with like there's a whole kingdom that's been destroyed or captured or whatever. The Jinn has everybody brainwashed or whatever, and I find the princess and kill the Jinn, save the kingdom, and the king's like, oh, it's great, you saved us all, you've saved our country, here's a canoe. I was like, this has got to be one of the worst, like, here you go in the history of rewards, like,
Yeah,
thanks
and
for
this is
saving our kingdom.
the
Have a
first
canoe.
this is the first introduction to a Cid in a Final Fantasy, right?
Yep, he had the airship.
No, 2.
Oh, it was
Did you
Final
do
Fantasy
one?
2 had a Cid. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
and he's the guy with the airship. 2 also
Oh,
has, since we're talking about intros, 2 introduces the Chocobo.
Oh, yeah. 3 had chocobos that you could run around the world in.
Yeah, Cids and Chocobos
And-
were into.
You had the big fat chocobo that was your the vault if you needed to hold stuff in the vault. Which in the pixel remasters, I mean, why do you even need that? Because you've got autosave going on. You've got almost unlimited inventory. You can hold 99 of everything. So modern stuff. Speaking of airships, this game was like airship, 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 airship. Because Sid gives you an airship, and then you like slam it into the rocks and destroy that. You get another one that gets shot out of the sky. I think that was the Enterprise. You get the Enterprise. The Enterprise gets shot out of the sky. And then you get the Nautilus, which goes really fast and then eventually goes underwater. And then, gosh, what was the last one? The Invincible, I think, that lets you
Yeah, I think
hop
so.
over. Yeah, it lets you hop over the tall
awkward,
mountains.
like it like raises up and then over the mountain range.
Yeah, but like you can only go over like 2 or 3 mountain ridges at a time. I'm like, yeah, I can just fly over it. I'm doing it, and it's just going up and down. I'm like, what the heck? Like, it told me I could go over the mountains. No, you could go over the mountains if there were 2 in a row or 3 in a row. But that created some interesting mazes, like overworld mazes of hopping from little valley to little valley, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
thought
4 different airships were pretty cool.
I did think it was interesting when I first played this how quickly you got an airship,
Mhm.
and then you kind of zoom out and there's a bigger overworld, and then almost immediately lose it.
Yep. Yeah, none of the airships were like, I mean, at this point, this game's like a 12-hour game, if you're doing pretty fast through it. And yeah, you were definitely getting an airship like every 2 to 3 hours. Like, oh, I got another one. Oh, I got another one. And geez, towards the end, you had to like flip back and forth. Thank goodness it put a dot on the map where the Nautilus was when I dropped it off to get the Invincible. Because at one point I had to bring the Invincible back and hop in the Nautilus. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It sounds like they added like a good bit to the gameplay in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're going through, you're getting, saving all the crystals because you're the Warrior of Light or the Warriors of Light.
I always thought it was funny,
Final
like
Fantasy.
when I was younger, the Final Fantasy was always, the crystal, bring back the crystals, and I remember the crystals were a thing that they talked about. There was Crystal Chronicles on like the GameCube and after, and I think even the Bravely Default games talked about. I don't know why I remember that somehow having to do with crystals. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Doesn't matter.
No. Bravely Default's got them too. Yeah.
Yeah. But so the point is, having missed all of these like early games, I never had a clue what the hell Final Fantasy has to do with crystals, because crystals don't play any part of like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 that I recall anyway, or anything past that. I don't know. I don't. Not that I remember.
Been a while since I played 6, and I didn't do
Sounds
much
like you're
after.
crystal
So.
clear on that messaging.
Boy, between
I
the
mean-
2 of you, we got the puns covered.
So I don't. Kelly, you must have played 3. I mean, I've monopolized this whole thing because it's the only one I really played. It was all right, but I did get frustrated a couple times. I'm like, oh, old school mechanics are getting me. Like, seriously, you didn't
Re
make a way to get
3D
out of the final
remake is
dungeon.
so much better, even though you also can't get out of the final dungeon in that one.
I don't even remember that from that game. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Maybe because I went through that whole trouble of turning everybody into like the Onion Knights, which were OP in that version. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But
Maybe. I do remember it being very hard though.
I mean, I do prefer the 3D version just because there's a lot more depth to that game, the story in particular. The characters are actually characters as opposed to just four random
hmm
orphans in that one. But it was nice playing this one for the first time because I tried playing the NES one of this game for ages and just couldn't get past how dull it looked.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly why I did this one for JRPG July. And knowing that we are going to have this podcast, I was like, I got to at least play one of the Pixel remasters. I've had them for a year. I got to play one. And this is the only one that I'm like, I've never played this in a Pixel version. Like 1 and 2 had the Game Boy Advance, and
I
you
actually
know,
played a lot of the NES version back in the day,
oh,
emulator days, and
hmm
it was pretty rough.
Yep.
Although that was a fan translation, but yeah, it was pretty rough. Try and get through it.
Yeah, I think
like I
I got
was
to the underwater area, and then I was like, nope, I don't really want to play this anymore.
Yeah,
I was pretty curious. Like one bit of the 3D version that I remember was the town where everybody's invisible, like just an invisible ghost. And I was actually really curious how that was in the pixel version. And it turns out like it was just literally just like an
White
outline.
lines. Yeah, they were like
Yeah,
outlined in
yeah.
white. Yeah.
which I thought was kind of neat. And the fact that this Pixel remaster actually looks pretty decent compared to the NES one.
oh yeah, it looked Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Very nice. I liked all the little sprites changing jobs and everything.
Yeah, some are much better than others as you advance throughout the game.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, like I said, once you get those last ones, Ninja and Sage, there's real no reason to use anything else.
correct. Yeah,
Ninja can use every good weapon
weapon.
and they can
Uh-huh.
throw. The shurikens are crazy damage, and the sages can use white and black magic
And
uh,
summon.
and summon. And yeah, and I mean their stats are just elevated, so they can heal pretty much they can negate any damage that you've taken. And yeah.
Are there any unique jobs that you don't, that never made the comeback?
Barbarian, I think. I mean, that one's come back in some games, I guess. Or Viking, I think. I don't know. I can't remember.
I did Viking
But
for a while because I read that they had good stat gains because that was something we didn't explain that. So you do level up normally, but I don't know if all the stats or just the HP is gain from every level is determined by what job you are. I know I switched to black belt, so I was getting like towards the end when I was like level 40 and trying to gain like I don't know 5 or 10 levels before I went in that last area. I switched everybody to I think black belt or Viking. Both did it pretty well. I was getting over 100 hit points, like 120 hit points for every level up. Whereas when I leveled up a couple times, even as Sage, I was only getting like 80. So it made a difference there. But in terms of damage output, you wanted to have your job level go up because job level going up gave you more hits. You saw your little guy swinging, and it was like 20 hits, 4,000 damage, or 10 hits for 2,000 damage.
yeah,
Um,
the first three games, they all had that like modifier where you wouldn't
yep.
just land one hit, you would hit an enemy and it'd say 10 times something, and then whatever damage calculator they used.
Yeah, so you could have the same exact stats, but if you switched, and you could even have the same weapon. So, like you said, what is it? The ninjas could do every weapon. Well, if you had a level 99 warrior and then switched him over to your ninja and had the same weapons and loadout, the ninja would at level 1 would do much less damage because sure he might have that 250 attack stat, but he would only hit 5 times instead of like 45 times at your level 99 job level 99. warrior was using. So apparently there was a penalty in the NES version when you switched over. You had a stat issue
It penalized you
for a certain number of
switching.
battles.
Yeah.
Whack.
And this version, the Pixel Remaster, does not. The Pixel Remaster is fine. You can just switch between them at will between every battle if you wanted.
Thank God.
Yeah, but yeah, it was interesting. I was like, okay, I got a couple of them up to level 99 because crap to the or cranked the JP earnings up to like 4 times, and almost every battle somebody was moving up a job class, often more than one person.
Yeah, I think if you play on the Steam version, you get a trophy for doing that, maxing them out.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah, that sounds like a trophy-worthy task. I think I maxed out 3 or 4 total. Not the Sage or the Ninja, because that was too close to the end. But even just playing them, the last dungeon or whatever, like I got with everything cranked up, I think they were job level 50 or 60 when I beat it.
Sounds about right.
Well, do we want to take a quick break and move up to the 16-bit era?
We can.
Let's do that then. We'll be right back. And welcome back to RPG Backtrack. Now we have moved on to the 16-bit era, talking about Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. Pascal and Matt will be quiet since they haven't played these in ages, versus me, Scar, and I don't know where Wheels went. So Final Fantasy 4 Remaster. Just as beautiful as always.
I mean, I'm a purist.
Mostly?
I think the original looks better than the Pixel Remaster.
Huh, interesting.
I think the PSP version looks better.
I don't like how the PSP version looks at all.
Interesting.
I think that the PSP version plays probably the best out of all of them, and it has all the additional content that the Game Boy versions had too, which is nice. PSP is one of those things you could call the definitive version because it has like every version of Final Fantasy IV on there. But I like the original Super Nintendo version the most. The Pixel Remastered version does a good job. I just don't like how I think these sprites look the cleanest on the Super Nintendo. I think they tried to pixelate them a little bit too much for the Pixel Remasters. I didn't think they needed much fine tuning.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for these games because Super Nintendo games look so good that I would have loved the option to just use the original like sprite work because I mean these are certainly fine versions of games. Like this is a perfectly acceptable version of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
If this is the only version I had access to, I wouldn't complain. But I mean, to be honest, the name Pixel Remaster for this and the other two Super Nintendo games kind of sounds like a lie.
Yeah. There isn't much that they really need to remaster. And they're just kind of just changing things just for the sake of changing it at that point.
Yeah.
One thing that is very noticeable, when you're going from Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, up to 4 is you're noticing that this game actually has a story and characters, which is, something that we really didn't see in the first 3 games. At least not really fully fleshed out. You are greeted with a fleet of airships, and that's your main character going to a town committing genocide to some hapless mages. Hooray him!
As you do.
The opening to this game is still incredibly impressive. Like I will never forget playing this for the first time and just being like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, the music, it's striking. Your main character, Cecil or Cecil, take it as you will, however you want to pronounce it. He is a Dark Knight because he was an orphan that the king taught the ways of the dark sword for whatever reason. And yeah, he pretty much only knows how to kill at the beginning of the game, and he's one of those, loyal to a fault people. He takes orders from the king, and whatever the king requests, he does. And after doing the slaughtering of Mysidia, he starts to question his life choices, and that's where the game starts, basically.
This opening does a lot to really establish Cecil as like, yes, you're right, he's loyal to a fault, but immediately you can tell that like this is someone with morals who realizes what they're doing is not right and doesn't know what to do about it.
Yeah. So, he's conflicted. He tries to tell the king that he's conflicted about what he's doing and immediately exiled. The king's like, what? You're not just going to blindly obey my commands? Well, here, take this package to this town. Another one of his commands that,
Take this totally not suspicious at all package.
Yep.
And that kind of just kickstarts Cecil's journey. He's he's got a love interest that he leaves at the castle. He's showing his his thoughts and his doubts, and he's accompanied on his journey with his best friend Kane, who as a kid I just thought he had the coolest looking sprites ever. The Dragoon.
I thought you were going to say Kane is the love interest.
No. Kane's in love with Rosa. Get it together, man. It's a love triangle.
Is it not that progressive of a game yet?
I'm down for Team Cancel.
That I'm sure there exists fanfic for that. But Kane's a fun character. Cecil in the original could just attack, but in the Pixel Remaster, he gets the Dark Wave attack that was available in the Japanese version of Final Fantasy IV. The US version, for some reason, omitted it, even though he uses it at the beginning of the game in like an auto battle that plays on the airship, which I always thought was kind of unfortunate. I was like, come on, he's using this Dark Wave. Let me use it in battle. But you get that access. He loses a little bit of life when he does it. But you notice that all the different characters that join you in Final Fantasy IV, they're all unique. They all have a specific job assigned to them. They can't change their class. They can't do anything. Well, Cecil eventually changes his class, but that's a story sequence. So the mages, they level up, they learn new spells. The physical fighters, they basically just get stat upgrades. And we were talking about the multi-hits in Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, where when you would attack something, you would see 10 times hit and then the damage. This game has that same modifier in the background. It's just not visible when you're attacking in the actual battles. If you go into the stat screens, you can actually see those same modifiers. It'll be like, you attack 17 times 99 or whatever it was. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think they get rid of that in 5. But yeah. So this is a really cool game. From start to finish, the music is fantastic. We had talked about it earlier. The remastered music is fine, I guess. The original music is just so iconic to me. The overworld music is just so beautiful. The theme of love is there. There's just so many classic tracks. There's fun moments. It's just good from start to finish.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. There's the whole sequence of, after the initial sequence with Cecil, he's trying to redeem himself. He's tired of being a puppet, and he's trying to right the wrongs. So one of my favorite sequences is when, Leviathan attacks, he loses all of his friends. He gets shipwrecked, and he actually has to go back to the town that he obliterated at the beginning of the game. And it's kind of fun just talking to the random NPCs around town because they remember him, and they'll use spells on him. They'll turn him into like a toad or a frog or a pig, or they'll poison him. and he's just trying, he can never, have them forget what he did, but he's just trying to, be the best person he can at that time and try to make amends and be a better person. So, they don't trust him at first, but they say if you climb this mountain, and you become the holy paladin, that might be a way to redeem yourself. And they don't really think that he can do it. They send spies with him, two twins who are a fun group of characters. And then the trip up the mountain is kind of hard for Cecil because he's a Dark Knight and all the enemies are undead. So he's doing like no damage. He kind of needs to rely on all the mages to help him get to the top. And then you have the sequence with him fighting his former self, his Dark Knight self. He has to shed his sins, so to say, and become a warrior of light. And yeah, it's a really fun sequence.
Did anybody else have trouble with that fight?
Initially, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to attack the Dark Knight. Yeah,
Does that happen on the mountain?
yes, mount ordeals.
I think I must have because I played it when I was much, much younger on the Super Nintendo, and I remember what you were saying about the twins and the mountain, but then I like dropped it, then or shortly after. So maybe whatever boss fight you're currently asking about, maybe that's why I quit the
The
game.
one where Cecil fights himself.
I don't remember specifically that part, but sure could be.
Yeah, he basically all you got to do is defend. And they throw hints that like attacking isn't always the answer. I forget the exacts of what they say, but every time you attack, it like resets the fight, and you just need to kind of sit there for a little bit, and then the fight ends. And then he changes his sprite. He takes off his mask, and he's this bishy, beautiful man, and he gets to equip holy armor, and the undead kind of just melt away as he kind of just tears through them now.
He's
But
also
unfortunately,
level 1.
yeah, he starts at level 1. He's already like has a higher amount of hit points than everyone else does.
Yeah, I remember him feeling like he was pretty weak sauce when he resets.
He was reborn.
I know, but there's a horrible boss fight after he's reborn, and if you don't spend the time to grind before that, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool story moments in Final Fantasy IV. Um, it's just one of those games that it at the time it just seemed so revolutionary because all the other games that had come out, they didn't really have this kind of grandiose kind of story. Everything, the characters had backstories, they had purpose. There was, conflict between characters and whatnot. It was really fun. And the Pixel Remaster does a really good job of just kind of keeping that theme going. It doesn't really change anything up, which is good.
Well, think about like the way you described the beginning of the story. One, two, and three, whatever passes for a story, but it's the virtuous paragon is who you're playing. Like of course, right? Like it's the trope for, I guess, like an adventure story. You have to be the hero, but in this game, you commit genocide.
You literally go to a town, you slaughter the people inside the town just to steal their crystal.
So that's already a bold
Yeah.
a bold move.
And this game adds the other games didn't really have a lot of emotion that you could see on the characters, but like this game, when Cecil is leaving the town, I think the mayor like kind of like yells at him and telling him is like, is this how you want to live your life? And he like the sprite looks down, so you could tell he's just kind of conflicted with what he's doing in life.
The sprite looks down.
Hey, but that was it was pretty progressive at the time.
Yeah, what they did with the sprite characters in this game was incredibly impressive for the time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of just emoting and
Yeah,
just moving them around a lot in ways. I mean,
I
not just that
love
we hadn't seen in the NES, but I don't think we'd really seen in very many games at all.
sprites. The good sprite work is like my favorite gaming art style. I'm
Hmm.
kind of
Yes.
glad I don't know if that's the same for anybody who didn't grow up in that generation, but
I
And
think
this
yeah,
game, yeah, this
I
game had a lot of really cool sprites.
Yeah, I think there's an appreciation even now for people that didn't grow up in that area for good sprite work, like thanks to indie games and things like that,
yeah.
and stuff like not necessarily sprite, but more 2D games like Hollow Knight and stuff like that. There's a whole generation of people that have an appreciation for uh, various types of 2D art, especially pixel stuff, and I think that's why a lot of like the new HD pixel games Square Enix are putting out are getting a lot of attention, like
Yeah.
Octopath and
Mm.
Adventures of Elliot. It's its own special art form, and I think this is kind of the genesis for a lot of that. It's Final Fantasy IV.
I also feel like Final Fantasy IV was one of the first RPGs in the day that didn't feel like it was meant to be just just kind of have a nothing story with your characters being blank slates. Um,
Yes.
that the characters are actually people that you were going along with the story with. And it's kind of amusing to me, the people that I talk to that don't like Final Fantasy games, and I ask them why, and it's because they're like, well, I don't like not being the character, you know, which is mostly a JRPG thing, especially back then.
You can change your name. Go to Naming Way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who has
And
his own like village on the moon?
and playing this back in the day and just realizing like, wow, these characters and the story is freaking amazing, was just kind of neat.
Um, I don't remember enough about it to know this. Was the combat like, did it add anything new? Like we were saying, some of the other ones brought interesting things, or was it pretty just standard turn-based?
Well, most of the
Uh,
characters had like an ability, like a unique ability to their job class.
Hmm.
is this the
Um,
first one with real time though?
oh yeah, this is the introduction to
The
the ATB.
ATB?
Yeah, active time battle. I mean, everything you had seen from like the older Final Fantasies, this game just kind of refined and made just a little bit better. They tweaked what had worked in the past, and they just kind of made the best kind of game that they could release with all their previous entries knowledge. So it's just kind of like the sum of all the parts. And there's a lot of interesting weapons and items and spells in this game, and there's a lot of secrets that are not that obvious to find. Like you could find summon spells after battles, and there's a couple really rare items that are only available after encountering super rare pink balloons. And I will say, in the original, finding the pink tail is really really hard because the percentages are just not in your favor. In the Pixel Remastered, you have all the items that were in the Japanese version, which means you can use a whistle. I can't remember the item, but it'll summon monsters for you. Like you don't have to move around the map, and then that triggers those special monsters to show up. So your encounter rate of getting the pink tail is raised significantly. So finding that super rare item is a lot easier in the Pixel Remastered than it is in the original. So thank you for that.
See, I didn't know that. 'Cause I knew how rare it was, and I didn't want to be there for hours on end.
Oh, I've farmed it in every version. This is the easiest version to get it in by far.
What's the item that you get again?
That's the pink tail, and then you trade that into the little mini characters. The same guy that you trade the rat tail to get you the
Okay.
Excalibur sword. You trade that pink tail to him, and he gives you the adamant armor, which is the best armor in the game. It boosts all your stats, including attack power, and everyone can equip it. It's yeah, I mean, if you want to, just be there for a while, you could farm five pigtails. That would take you quite a long time. I don't
I
suggest that.
am, I imagine so.
Someone in this panel might have done that in the past.
Not
It
I.
was me.
Not me.
It was not me.
But yeah, no, this game's fun from start to finish. Like I said, the music kind of just adds to every scene. There's emotional moments. There's some deaths, some not deaths that don't really stick. Um, so the impactful scenes aren't they don't they don't stick to the end because the characters come back. But a lot of really cool moments. Every most all the characters get their moment to shine in one scene or another, which is nice. And this is a pretty large cast, so you kind of float between a different group throughout the game until you settle into the final squad of Cecil, Rosa, Kane, Rydia, and Edge.
This is
Good old Edge.
Ah, yes, he's a hothead. He got so angry he learned new spells.
this is the one from the Pixel remasters that I'm most excited to go back to when I, eventually get to it because I got to do it right. I got to play them in order.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I played them in order. This is still my favorite Final Fantasy, but yeah, I played them in order. So I played five right after this, and it's fine. It's just not
Well,
this game.
I like to finish games, and when I finally get to it, I'll be able to fix an issue that's been like following me for like I don't know how long is it, 28 years or whatever since I played up to that mountain scene you were talking about, and I get to finally finish.
Oh man, once you ascend, man, that there's no going back. Um, but yeah, the Pixel Remaster it does not include anything from the after years, which give or take, if you like those games, good for you. If not, then you're not missing much. But it also doesn't include some of the bonus content that was in the Final Fantasy IV Advanced version that was on the Game Boy, which is unfortunate because that game lets you pick your final squad
Hmm.
and everyone gets like a bonus final dungeon, which is really cool. Kane, his final dungeon is he has to fight his former self. He's a conflicted character. He gets mind controlled and he goes and fights his friends. Not from his own free will. He is not a betrayer. That you can't betray someone if you're being mind controlled. I do not like it when people say that. He's not. He doesn't betray anyone. But he fights his former self, and he gets a weapon called the Abel's Lance, which I thought is cool. A lot of biblical undertones there, Cain and Abel. But it lets him jump twice, I think, which really boosts his attack power. But it's missing in the Pixel Remastered, which is unfortunate. But there's bonus dungeons for all the characters. They all get kind of these souped up weapons and things, which is fun.
So this is like definitely not the definitive version then.
No.
No, and you'll see that with the next couple games we talk about. There's going to be a couple things missing here and there from all of them.
A couple of things is fine, but like this sounds like the first one we've talked about tonight. That's like, oh, this is the undefinitive version.
I mean, I'd say that a three as well,
Oh, three.
because not necessarily because it's not the 3D version, but it's probably missing stuff from the 3D version.
Yeah, I will say the DS version of Final Fantasy 3, it adds an actual story to the game, which really makes it feel more of an adventure. The characters actually have names and they have a little bit of character depth. Not much, but just enough.
But is that a little different? I think I know what you mean. I think I have that one too. Is for the DS, right?
Yeah.
I think I've played a little bit of it, but isn't that different what we're talking? Like that's a different game.
Yeah, no, that's different from what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like
um,
the DS version of Final Fantasy IV, check.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and that game's fun too because it adds the not I forget what it's called where you can like modify the character's stats and you can give them other stats like other abilities.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love a collection that has that and the after years and just yeah, these definitely feel very undefinitive.
Yes, the word you use is right. This isn't a collection at all. This is
No.
cherry picked certain things. Hmm.
And in some respects, not a good one.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. The problem is, yes, it's Final Fantasy IV, which is an incredible game, but I want more. Like I think this probably applies for all of them. I would love for Digital Eclipse to get their hands on these games and do a collection of all the different versions and maybe like remastered versions that mixes all the different features together. But it just feels like there's too many different versions, and I think honestly, Final Fantasy IV is the worst offender out of all of these. Like, there's the GBA version, there's the PSP version, which I think the PSP version includes the after years, but it's like also like a remastered version that looks different from the original after years on the Wii. And there's the original SNES Final Fantasy IV version that we got, which is different from the Japanese version because it's like the easier. Like, I would like to have all of these together so I can, mix and match and play around with them and just this isn't enough. And yet it's so awesome because it's Final Fantasy IV. So it's hard to complain too much about it.
I mean, I enjoyed my time with it, and it was nice having a streamlined version that I could play through really quickly without having to grind too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I really enjoyed about the Pixel Remastered version of Final Fantasy IV is I have played this game so many times. I know the game from front to back, so I collected all the treasure chests in the game, and I would use the treasure guide just to kind of validate that I knew where everything was and that I hadn't missed anything. So I was like, yep, nope, I remember where this was. Oh, I've already collected everything here. Yep, all right, cool. Like I kind of, it was kind of just um, like a clap on the back that I still remembered where everything was. Like, oh, I still got it.
Yay. Well, moving on, what do we think about Final Fantasy V?
They make the job system a lot better in this game.
They do. I'll tell you, of the three SNES ones, five is my least favorite,
I
and
agree.
part of it is just because I get so overwhelmed with the job system.
I think
I I
that
had
and the story kind of sucks.
I had so much fun with Final Fantasy V because that was the game that we never got originally. So it was one of those games that I emulated very early on. So I was just kind of like that unknown exploration kind of thing. Like, wow, I can't believe we didn't get this game. So I played through the Super Nintendo version. I've played through the Game Boy Advanced versions, and the Pixel Remastered version does a pretty good job of adding pretty much everything, most of the things that is in the Game Boy Advanced version, and it's a really fun to tinker with the jobs. There's a couple jobs that are better than others, but it's fun just to try them all out and see what works for you.
Hmm.
And I like that all the different characters had different sprites for all the different jobs. I thought that was cute.
It is,
The,
but
the
the story sucks.
Also, when Bart's, aka Butts,
But
gets the Dragoon class, he looks exactly like Kane, except he's got like a ninja mask on.
Is the story worse than the first three?
No, it's the worst
yes,
of the Super Nintendo stories, though.
Hmm.
I would say it's worse than the first three.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad story. I just think it's kind of an underwhelming, convoluted story.
Being like bookended between 4 and 6 probably doesn't help it
Yeah.
very
It
much
does
there.
not, no. But I would honestly say it's worse than the first three games because there's a lot more talking and it's not really good and the villain's really dumb.
He's a tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Although there was some conversation about X Death that he was mistranslated. He was supposed to be Exodus.
That's not any better.
I mean, he does like take you to like a void realm. Like that would make a little more sense, right?
Yeah.
X Death just doesn't really. There's like that. What does that even mean? I'm Neo X Death. Okay, I still don't know what that means. Although this game gave us Gilgamesh, which became a reoccurring character, and the Battle on the Bridge song is fantastic.
Probably
That is a
one of
good one.
the best songs in Final Fantasy history, and I
Yeah.
love the remixed version of it in this.
Yeah, I'm not super attached to the Super Nintendo music of Final Fantasy V, so I will say the remix songs of this one are pretty good. I mean this game has a lot of really good music too. It like you guys were talking about. It's just kind of in between giants, which is the unfortunate thing. So it's always going to be compared to 4 and 6, and it's fine. It's just my least favorite of those three.
Yeah, I would honestly say we talked about maybe two being a little underrated. I honestly think this game is a little overrated, which sounds harsh, but yes, the job system is very fun to play around with, and that is definitely the reason to play this game. But I think a lot of other parts of this game are not great. I even think some of the music in it is subpar compared to the other two.
Well, yeah, agreed.
But again, not that it's bad or anything. It's just yeah, people are too into the job system in this game, and I think they really ignore a lot of the many faults of it. Just not again, not to say this is still a very good game. Like you should play it, but it's honestly the one I go back to the least.
I do like in this game I think they start to explore with the different properties of weapons a lot. Like there's like using the optimized uh, uh, option in this isn't the best because there's weapons that attack twice, or there's weapons that have elemental damage attached to them, and there's all these little things that you can tinker with, and like there's different ways to set up your party, which it's fun to mess around with.
Well, you could always just not use it then.
That's true.
I just a wise man once said to me, if the
Do
optimize
not use
function
optimize.
isn't your taste, don't use it.
Yeah, this game also introduced the mime job, which is fun to mess around with. Also, that fight is very annoying. Kind of like the Final Fantasy IV fight. You're just kind of expected to not do anything while you're fighting Gogo, who first makes his appearance in this game, not Final Fantasy VI.
The actual same character?
Who knows? They never really confirmed that, but his name is Gogo, and he's a mime. So, take that how you want.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you basically find him in an underwater dungeon. There's a timer, and you just got to sit there when you fight him because if you try to attack him, he'll just like start spamming meteors on you. But the mime class, once you get it, it can mimic another class's move. So whatever someone else does before you, it can do, and it can also equip three other abilities that you've mastered. So it can use like everyone else's jobs abilities. And then of course none of that matters because once you've mastered everything, you always want to go back to your default job class, which is the name's eluding me, but whatever you start with, and they get all the powers of every job that you've mastered.
Freelancer?
Freelancer, yeah, thank you. They get all the powers from all the jobs that you've mastered, and they can equip pretty much any weapon and any gear, and yeah, they get super overpowered. But obviously, that's a lot of grinding, which is diminished in the Pixel Remasters because you can boost your experience, you can boost your ability points, and money as well.
First time, this game is the first, or this iteration of five is the first time that I've maxed out all of the jobs, and I felt so satisfied.
And this game introduces super bosses that you can wander around and fight. You've got Shin Ryu and you've got Omega. Did you end up fighting those, Kel?
Yeah, I think I did. I know I fought a mega because I struggled fighting a mega.
Yeah, those are pretty tough super bosses. They're fun. It's a good challenge. I know with Shin Ryu, you need to equip like water absorbing gear, or else he'll just like decimate you.
Can you get Shimryu as a summon after you fight him?
No, you get like a useless item, just like a trophy item kind of thing.
Aw,
I think the best summon in five is a Bahamut again. He stays being the best for a little bit, which you fight him on a mountaintop too. That was kind of something that they stuck with for a couple of those games, huh?
yep.
Also, I liked that you could learn one of your bard spells by like playing the different pianos around the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like the piano little like jingle would it sounds like terrible at first, but as you're practicing it, it gets a little bit better until it sounds actually like a nice little melody at the end. Little fun
Did
stuff like that.
anybody pilot a chocobo around the world?
Oh yeah, to get the Mirage Vest. Yep.
I did
Did
not.
did that. Also, this game has a fun scene when the characters are in the undead graveyard. They're like submerged in water, and they're still new to like learning who everyone is. Like they've just kind of gotten to each other. And you've got Bartz, who's an adventurer. You've got Galuf, who is a warrior that doesn't remember his past. You've got Ferris, the pirate, and then you've got Lena, the princess, and you have like a sequence where everyone gets knocked unconscious, and you take Ferris, who is like soaked in water, and you take them to the dressing room to like like take their clothes off to dry. And Bartz and Galuf, they're just you see their faces like just become like beet red, and they're like, well, that's not a dude. Like it's kind of obvious to everyone that's playing, but Ferris had been cosplaying as a man for a little bit, and then you find out, nope, Ferris is a lady. Also, Lena's sister.
That
Also
was
a
a twist.
princess.
That was a twist that I didn't see coming.
There's a couple of scenes in Final Fantasy V that I thought are well done. Gilgamesh coming back. Gilgamesh gets like sent to the abyss by Death because he's incompetent. Like he's kind of just like a joke character for like most of the game. He fights, and what's funny is Gilgamesh has all of the Genji gear. So you've got to like steal it from him during his very small windowed battle scenes, or else you can't get them. But like he gets banished, and then you're fighting this other guy, and then Gilgamesh shows up and like kind of just sends them both to like the next dimension kind of thing. He goes out like a hero in the end.
Gilgamesh MVP of the story.
He's I mean he's fun. He's very silly, but he's fun. He has got a really cool sprite, and then he gets like six arms at the end. He gets like a upgraded demon form.
How many times did you play this?
I'm,
Because you know a lot. I'm just surprised. Like I could summarize in like one sentence everything I've ever heard about Final Fantasy V up until tonight.
and then there's Sid and his nephew Mid, who they help you get the airship up and running.
Yeah, we talk about Mid on the 16 Final Fantasy 16 episode some time ago.
Yeah, because Mid shows up later
Yeah.
as a girl. Also, did anybody try to watch the OVA that's technically a sequel to this?
I saw that before I played this game.
Yeah, I
So did
I didn't even
I.
know that
Yeah.
was related to Final Fantasy V until after I watched it, and it's not good. I don't remember much about it other than it not being memorable.
Poor bald chicken chocobo. Well, shall we move on to the masterpiece?
Yes, please.
We already talked about Final Fantasy IV.
Ba-dum-dish.
It's
The better masterpiece.
We've also talked about 3 before, so let's talk about 3 again.
No, that's just what it was called in the US when it originally came out.
What's
It's
the
actually
story
six.
behind all that?
Because they had already released Final Fantasy II, and they're like, "Well, fuck it."
No, I'm joking. I was actually proud of us for not like going into the with the naming convention discussion.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of that one. Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people when people ask me what my favorite Final Fantasy is that I waffle between 6 and 7
Yeah.
or even 4, and I have to
Six,
say
seven.
Oh no.
and I
Oh,
have to say
Uh,
it's like picking my favorite of my 6 cats. I can't. I love all of them. I have
It's
ones that I like for different reasons, but I always feel
yeah.
terrible just picking one.
I think whether you say 6 or 7 or 9 or even 10, I think for different reasons they may all have a strong argument.
But six is pretty up there, just because it was the one that when I was a kid resonated with me the most. And I always felt like this game kind of gets the least love as far as ports or remakes are
Because it doesn't need
concerned.
it.
You're right,
it's
and
true.
you're
Not
right.
needed. It's perfect. In fact, I mean, outside of like the Pixel remaster, which I'll be honest, I'm not so sure. That's the only one I'm not 100% convinced I will play in the remaster package. But if they do a real remake, I don't know that I would play it. I'll be very
Uh,
happy for everybody that gets to experience the game that way, but do I want to? No,
I
I don't
mean,
think so.
you'll always have the original version. I mean, I would love some kind of remake like the remake 4 got. Not necessarily, obviously not as a DS game. I just mean like a different way to play that game, even if it's not necessarily better.
Mhm.
I would love like a different take on this game.
So,
What I want the most, and they teased us with it, and I'm sad that they didn't go full hog, is 2D
oh.
HD.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something different. Okay.
No, what'd you think I was gonna say?
Wasn't there was like a cinematic that they used as like a tech demo at some point, wasn't
Oh, you're
there?
talking about the Nintendo 64 version?
I don't I couldn't tell you what it
Are you
Nintendo
talking about the
64?
cinematics from the PS1 version, maybe?
I think it was cinematics. It was like
Yeah.
Locke and the airship, maybe something like that.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
was in the PS1 version.
What if instead of a remade game, we got a like an Advent Children type
No,
sequel movie?
no,
No,
no.
hard pass. I
Oh
don't want a
man,
sequel. I don't. A
you don't want
remake,
anything
fine.
further?
I don't want a sequel. I think the way the story ends, the sequel would be doing
Okay,
it a
Yeah.
disservice.
prequel
I,
then.
No,
The War of the
No, all right.
Magi?
no,
Extended universe runs concurrently with this. Okay, I don't know.
nah.
Nah.
I honestly think the best thing that they could do is 2D HD.
That would be
Okay.
cool.
Give it
Just
the
make it look prettier and otherwise be the same game.
There,
yeah.
there's things that they could add to make it a better experience. Like, they could actually finish the story of Siegfried.
Mm.
Like, what's his deal? They never really tell you.
Yeah, I don't think I would want just a 2D HD version. I'd rather it was a 2D HD version with new stuff, new story elements, maybe new espers,
Do we
new
trust
dungeons.
do
We
we
got new
trust
espers in
Square
the Game Boy version.
Yeah, that's true.
do
I,
we
I
trust
would
Square
have liked
Enix
those in this.
Yeah,
to
same.
not fuck it up like modern Square Enix?
No. Although I will say the Final
Yeah,
Fantasy Resonance is turning out to look pretty
yeah.
nice,
I
even though it
mean,
is
I
just from a gotcha
I
game.
mean, yeah, it's easy to joke on modern Square Enix, but they have competent developers working there that could do something good with this. It would just depend on who they actually put in charge of it.
My crazy tinfoil hat theory is the residence is testing the water.
Yeah. What so as far as the Pixar Remastered for Final Fantasy VI, there's a couple things that I noticed that were different that I'd like to point out. Some good, some not so good. The intro right from the beginning, when you have the Magitech suits crawling in the snow towards Narsh, it looks really good in the Pixar Remastered. They did a really good job of just kind of reanimating um that
Probably my favorite
sequence.
intro to any game.
Hmm.
It's really well done. The opera scene is actually voice acted now,
Hmm.
and it's in HD 2D graphics basically.
Hmm.
And I think it's a little bit better this way than the original. I mean, the original is iconic and It's kind of hard to top, but I think that the added melodies and lyrics and stuff, it's just nice.
Music is challenging for me. You're talking to somebody who's still upset that George Lucas changed Yub Nub at the end of
You can still keep the original score. You can switch it to the original. So if you want that nostalgia hit, you don't have to you don't have to listen to the remade music. One gripe with Final Fantasy VI, you can turn encounters off. What sort of baby back bullshit is this?
But
So
you
that
can
you
do that
can.
with the other ones. What do you mean?
No, you could, but you get an item in this game called the Moogle Charm, which turns off encounters.
Mhm.
Like, were they not thinking? Like that item is
Oh.
completely useless
Oh, I see. Well, when do you get that item? Later on?
at the end of the
Late in
game.
the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
in the
Okay,
world of
so-
ruin.
Well,
Well,
don't
now
you
you
get
can
it
do it
from?
before.
Don't you? No, wait, no, never mind. I was gonna say, don't you get it from the top of the cultist tower? Oh no,
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 Moogle
that's the double magic box or whatever it's called.
Moogle Charm is the only way I ever got up that tower. Are you kidding
yeah,
me?
same.
Jesus.
That tower is rough if you
Yeah,
do it any other way.
all
Nothing
magic.
but magic. Oh
have
my
Umaro.
lord.
You can have Umaro just throwing people at the cultists if you want. What else? I mean, the game's really good. It's like it's great.
Yeah.
It's great from start to finish.
All right, well, our time is done. Good night. That's
Oh.
it.
Masterpiece.
We had talked about Final Fantasy IV with the character development. They just take it up a notch. They learned from Final Fantasy IV, from all the years of their creation. All the devs have just kind of made the best kind of game available on the Super Nintendo. It's got dramatic characters. It's got really fun sequences. There's all sorts of different events that are fun, like when the characters break off and you have to, pick between Locke, Sabin, and Terra's team, and they all have their different adventures before they all come back and have to defend Narsh against Kefka. Oh, so many great sequences. Also, Kefka, fantastic villain.
The best villain, as we frequently voted on the site itself, the number one villain in everything.
I have to disagree slightly about Kefka
Are you
being
Team
the best villain.
Sephiroth?
No, Sephiroth is a terrible villain.
Okay.
But
I could guess.
the true villain of Final Fantasy VI is actually Sid.
What?
Because he dies and leaves Celis.
No, Sid
He
doesn't-
doesn't have to die.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, I
well,
kill
okay.
Sid off because
If
he's
you're
the true villain.
awful, he will die.
Fair.
Well, let me elaborate. Sid or Kefka is actually the first person to do the Magitech fusions that Sid uses on the soldiers, except Kefka was the guinea pig, so to speak. So there's an actual sequence in the main town that says Kefka was actually a good soldier until he did this sequence, and then his brain got corrupted because Sid fucked him up.
So
And then Celis was the perfected one.
so
So
Sid is Frankenstein and Kefka is just the creature.
yeah, he's the product of Sid's just malpractice, basically.
But who made Sid do the malpractice?
It was fealty. I mean, the Emperor probably.
Yeah.
The Emperor who gets kicked off the floating continent.
Just still
Well,
so cool.
It sounds like you were willing to forgive Kane in 4 for his
And gets mind controlled. It's different.
Oh man.
Terra gets mind controlled. Everyone forgave her. Why don't they forgive Kane?
No, is he mind controlled at the beginning?
No.
Well, okay, but like you forgave him for that.
I mean,
For the-
he's with you. He's your partner at the beginning. There's no betrayal at the beginning. He's
Am I thinking of the
with,
wrong one? Who's the main guy in 4?
Cecil.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I said the wrong name.
Yeah.
You sound like you were willing to forgive him wiping out like entire villages and towns because
Oh,
later
well,
on he wants to be
His
better.
actions show that he was sorry for slaughtering all those people.
And Sid is okay. Sid is not.
No.
All right.
Well, he creates the monster of Final Fantasy VI. Well, Cecil doesn't create any monsters. He kills all the monsters.
Well, you're right. Like that. There's a different detail there. Yes. 6 is also. It doesn't really have a Or so I think the consensus is it doesn't have a main character. It's a what do they call it?
Ensemble.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ensemble
You start with
cast.
Terra, and then you end the game with Celis. And if you want, you only need to recruit Celis initially, Edgar, and then Setzer, and then you can take on Kefka's Tower. So, like,
You mean in
technically,
the world of Ruin?
in the
Yeah.
World of Ruin,
Like you
yeah.
can just get three of them together?
Yeah.
You only need the airship. So all you need to do is to get to
Huh.
Setzer
So
to
people
finish the
have
game.
come up with some interesting like alternate runs.
Oh yeah.
There are so many different ways to play this game. It's insane.
So it was, I think it was like outside, you know, if you want to call Zelda anything RPG related, outside of maybe Zelda games, I think this was probably my first ever RPG. And so I started with one that's hard to beat because it has like
It's a good
everything. It
one.
has the false ending when the world of balance ends. Like we said, like the best villain, the best cast, et cetera, et cetera.
It's really good. Do you have a favorite character from the cast?
I don't. I would have to. No, maybe not favorite, but there's some that I don't care for as much. But I like Cyan. Story wise, I think I kind of enjoy his story a lot. I like Edgar and Sabin, of course. Um,
I really wish they would have like added to the story of the double-headed coin. You really only
Mm.
get to see that sequence if you take the brothers to Figaro and then you sleep in the town and then they have like a night sequence where they talk about it and it gets like fleshed out if you bring them to Setzer's airship initially, because then Edgar like he's like, well, let's sell this with a coin, and then Setzer picks up the coin. He's like, oh, how odd, a coin with two heads, and then Sabin's like, what, brother? Did you do this to me? Because he Sabin wanted his freedom, so Edgar was like, okay, well, if it's heads, you get your freedom. If it's tails, I stay here and become king, kind of deal. So he rigged it for his brother's, his happiness kind of thing, which is awesome. But like, it's kind of one of those sequences that if you're not prepared, you might have missed
so
along the way.
you're just saying it's missable. It's like a missable detail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's others too. Like there's hints of shadows past you can get.
I
Yep.
was going to
Shadow
ask.
King,
All
Realm's
right.
dad.
No, Gao's dad, isn't it? Is it
No,
Realm's dad?
Realm.
No, it's Realm's dad.
I was
Yeah,
going to ask
they're the
where you
they're the
guys.
only two characters that can equip the memento ring.
I was going to ask where you guys fall on that because I've heard that too.
Oh no, that's in there. That's
As
facts.
a
Streams,
kid,
man.
I never cared about that. I didn't look too deep into. I mean, I
No,
think it's probably been about
Gao's
20
dad
years
was
since I've
the
played this.
Gao's dad was the crazy guy above
On
the
the
Veld.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Which
actually like a sequence where in the World of Ruin you can like have Gao like dress up so he can reunite with his dad, but his dad wants nothing to do with him. Kind of a sad. Like
Yeah.
every character in this game has like a tragic story.
mhm.
They removed the scene where Ellis gets beat by the guards. That was in the original game, Super Nintendo version. They took that out.
I mean, for a cast of 14 characters, as much as they, up the storytelling here, there's boundless potential for what they could do with that
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
characters.
There's a lot they could do to flesh out the story if they wanted
Yep. Oh yeah,
to
for
remake
sure.
it.
I mean they could have you pick a character to start with in the World of Ruin. Like, they could be like, "Oh, do you want to start with this person?" And then you could see what they were doing in like that year that Kefka had ruled over the world.
I'm playing for JRPG July, I'm playing Infinite Wealth right now, so I say we got to get the Yakuza writers on the Final Fantasy VI remake. Really get onto those character stories. Let's go.
What,
I mean, if they work on it, does that mean we're going to throw in some old Square Enix arcade games into
Oh,
this
Is
remake as
is
well?
there such a thing? Have the pixel remasters on arcade cabinets, maybe?
Be
Um,
nice.
did you guys know that this game or like created limit breaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Desperation attacks.
when your character is
Yeah.
low on life, they have like a one in some odd chance to use their desperation attack. I always thought that was cool. When it happened in the original game, I actually didn't know what was going on. They used like a move I didn't like tell them to use, and I was like, wait, what's going on here?
I
And
have
everyone has their own
never-
unique one.
I've never seen it happen.
Really? Oh, I've
I
Yeah.
seen it
don't.
happen a lot.
I'm not sure if I have either.
Did you think the suplex scene was done as good as the original?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate that they just let you select stuff in this version instead of having to do the Street Fighter moves because I always sucked at the Street
Oh,
Fighter
so I was
moves.
about to mention those, but since you're talking about the like changes to the remaster, I'm assuming they have a different translation, not the Ted Woolsey one anymore.
They kind of take
Yeah,
the best Woozlyisms and fix some of the rest.
I always liked
Um,
the Woolsey translations.
like Son of a Submariner is in there. At this point, you Spoonie Bard has to be in there because I
Was that
think
one
that
of his?
well, yeah, from that's four, but we
Yeah,
didn't bring it up.
I don't remember if he did four or not.
Yeah,
I have a hat I'm staring at that is that scene, you spoony bard. Except
Hmm.
in this image, Tella is throwing a meteor at Edward, so I don't think that happens in the game.
So Kelly, I was about to actually praise like it's kind of the I guess the job system, but every character is stuck with a class, and I was about
yeah.
to praise that some of them just play like pretty standard, but there's a couple of characters who have unique ways of controlling them. I mean, obviously the Street Fighter fighting game inputs for Saban, but Cyan has a charging bar that he has to go through. I'm trying to think of who else has like a unique.
Setzer has the slots.
Yeah, it doesn't play different, but everybody has a different. I mean, Mog does dances. Like there's stuff in here. So, but I guess I'm viewing it through the lens of like never played another RPG before since it was my first. So that was all like, whoa! Every character is so different in battle.
Yeah. Realm can sketch.
Hmm.
And break your game.
Strago is the blue mage. Well, no, the breaking isn't doesn't exist in Pixel Remastered.
Oh, they fixed it.
They got rid of that.
How could she
So
break your game before?
if you sketch a certain monster, you can like glitch your game and get like 99 paladin
Oh,
shields.
like actually break it,
Yeah. And
not.
if you do it too many times, yeah, it could just wipe your save.
Oh, okay. So you mean a bug, not like an exploit.
Well, I mean, the exploit is getting 99 paladin shields.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, no, Final Fantasy VI is fantastic. The characters are fun. This game gives you the two accessory slots. So like you really get to customize your characters, and tinker with them as much as you want. Later on in the game, you get the espers, which then add permanent stat boosts to the characters,
Hmm.
which is another way to tinker with the characters. So there's a lot of tinkering happening in Final Fantasy VI. I did notice they changed some of the stats some of the espers gave you in the Pixel Remastered version. That's a very minor detail that not a lot of people probably even noticed, but I noticed.
I think the soundtrack to Six is probably my favorite soundtrack for any Final
It's
Fantasy.
absolutely incredible.
It's amazing, and the piano like works of Final Fantasy VI are just amazing.
Mm.
It's a fantastic soundtrack.
The 20-minute ending sequence song that weaves
That's
every
so good.
character's main theme into like one piece.
Hmm.
Yep.
Dancing Mad,
Yep.
masterpiece of a song.
You would need one whole vinyl record just for those two songs, one per side.
I'm gonna have to pull out the vinyl record and see how many there are.
Like I was blown away when I learned for the first time that Dancing Mad was literally one long unbroken song.
Mhm.
Granted, they kind of do a little bit of trickery to that they loop some sections just to kind of hide the fact that some of it does break a little bit, but it's still perfection.
Well, each stage of the battle has a different part of the song.
Hmm.
As you move up I don't know what it's called. Does it even have a name? The tree of Kefka, I guess. The tree
It's
of
supposed to be
angels.
the statues.
It's
Yeah.
got a name. I just can't remember it right
It's
now.
it looks like
Called like not it's not
like
the
the
triad. That's
Sistine
the
Chapel
goddess
or
name.
something like that.
Yeah,
It's cool. It's really cool.
I-
it's really fun.
Who's everybody's least favorite character?
Umaro.
No,
Gao.
don't put that on you, Morrow.
Yeah,
Come on.
I think Gao for me too.
Oh man, I loved his
Poor cow.
rages. What?
I've never
He's
cared
super
for blue
overpowered.
mages.
I
That
mean,
started here.
he can break the game pretty hard if you use
And he's
certain
got a high
combinations.
magic stat, so like once you start putting espers on him, his magic is ridiculous.
It's
And
just
a lot of his rages are magic based, so you just got to know which ones to use. There's a couple that are just really overpowered, and like from the start of the game, you get a cat one. I can't remember the name of the enemy, but it does like more damage than anyone else can do in that at that part of the game.
I think
I think it's Stray
It
that
strays the
the
Esper.
Esper, the cat Esper.
oh
I
see
think for for me the problem with Gao was his list of like when you get him and his list is completely blank, you can scroll through that and it feels like it takes forever just to like
Yeah.
scroll down an empty
They
list.
fixed that in the Pixel Remastered. You're
Well,
not
it's not the
doing
length of the scrolling. It just every character has different options and different moves, but they feel manageable. And so to me, I mean, again, keep in mind I was a kid, but getting that list of and then knowing how you fill it by sending him off with a different enemy, and then you have to wait. I don't know if it's a random, you have to wait a few minutes and pick him back up in battle, and then you get one move added to the list from that whichever enemy he learned it from. That just seemed like an insurmountable. Like I was like, okay, I'm not fucking
you
with
get
this.
two. You get the one you jumped and then the one you come back from.
Okay, this does not help. Even if it is two, that wouldn't have helped.
Well, what if I told you one of the achievements on the Steam version was unlocking all the rages?
I'm sure, and that,
I
you know what
mean,
that could be fun in the remaster to like just to do something like that. But am I going to use that for gameplay? No. But
you might.
I never did, and so for me, Gao was immediately like relegated out of like any contention for this is who I want in my party.
I could definitely see that, but for me, it was always like this challenge of, well, how do I get all of these? Like the same thing with
Yeah.
Mog's dances. Like I definitely didn't get the one.
The water one is missable if you
Yes, the
don't.
water one on my first playthrough. I definitely didn't get that
You
because
have
you
to
have
go
to.
through the Serpent's Trench again.
Yeah.
Did you guys fight in Tangier, the invisible behemoth in the World of Balance?
yeah, because that's how you get
I guess not.
Go-Go, isn't
Wait,
it?
No, no,
I
no.
always had him.
He's a
Oh no.
totally just side enemy. He's invisible.
No, wait, yeah, you're right. That's something
Are
different
you talking about the
completely.
flying boss?
No,
No, okay.
it's once you get your airship on the World of Balance. So this is the first world. There's like an island on the upper right corner of the map, and then you can fight an enemy that's invisible, and you have to use magic on him. And then it's revealed that there's this big blue behemoth looking monster called Intangier, and he's got way too much hit points for you at this time of the game. So you've got to
Mm.
use other methods to beat him. But, if you want him to be in the bestiary, you actually got to beat him on the
Mm.
world balance because he doesn't show up in the second world.
No, I don't think I ever fought him at all.
No, doesn't sound familiar to me.
What Kelly was alluding to is there's a monster called the Zone Eater, and you got to let him suck you up.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to a bonus dungeon to unlock Go-Go, the mimic character.
I don't remember a bonus dungeon, but I definitely always had Go-Go.
Yeah, you can kit Go-Go out with pretty much anything in the game.
The Zone Eater is like a big worm, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, I always made sure I had Go-Go for for Kefka at the end, and it would be whatever the strongest magic attack is. It's not Pearl. I know Pearl is one of
Ultima.
them. Ultima then, and then Go-Go quickly mimic that every time. Um, I always thought that the some of the magic spells have really cool visual effects in this game. I don't know if this is the first Final Fantasy that was like I just mentioned Pearl, and it has this like trippy white background that kind of like scrolls over the screen when you cast it. And I think there's other ones that have really cool like 16-bit effects like that.
I liked Fire 3 was kind of like a little meteor ball landing on the enemy.
Mm.
Yeah, no, the magic looks fantastic, and customizing your characters based on like the espers that they've got equipped is it's a fun way to like micromanage your character's stats. You can pretty much make anyone anything you want once the espers unlock. So it's a good idea to go into the game with a low level like mindset until you can unlock espers, because when you're leveling up without them, you're not getting any bonuses. So you want to maximize those gains.
I know that if anybody I know or anybody in my family, this hasn't happened for a long time, but back in the day would start to play this game for the first time, let's say, I gotta be in the room for like the first hour. Anything like that, walk up to Narsh, the mines, that first interaction between Terra and the Esper.
I'm not a thief. I'm a treasure hunter.
Yeah, let me just be in the room and re-experience the vibes because that opening is like so
Well, I
good.
mean, I think you'll enjoy the Pixel remaster then. It doesn't bastardize the game, so like it still has all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
it's a perfectly fine way to play it.
Yeah, and you can turn the encounters off right from the get-go.
Ugh, I refuse. I refuse to turn off encounters without the correct item. Won't do it.
I just
That's
thought
the
that
hell
was kind of silly because all the other games, I mean, I get it. Like, especially the Nintendo games, the encounter rates are kind of ridiculous. But
Mhm.
this game rewards you with an item that does that, and it's useless. It's like if they did a Pixar remastered version of Octopath Traveler 1 and they let you turn off encounters right at the beginning, because you get a Moogle charm by beating the super boss at the end of the game that turns off encounters, and it's just like, well, there's no what you just got rid of my reward. You took away my feel good.
There's an item in the auction house that you can buy, or I think you can buy it. It's I forget what the exact number is, but it's like a 1/347th of an airship or something like that. Like it's like a small.
Oh, well, you
And
can't buy it.
oh, okay, all right. I wasn't 100% sure, but as a kid, I remember I was thinking like, so does that mean if I just stay here and buy enough of those, I can put together an airship? I mean, mathematically, that's what it's telling me, right?
Unfortunately, there's a couple items that you'll get outbid by the little kid,
Okay, so that's a
like begging his
scripted.
dad. Yeah.
Scripted, you can't get it. All right, I got it.
There's a couple espers that you can get in the auction house. In the Game Boy Advance version, I think there's a third one that
Hmm.
unlocks near the end of the game.
And the Espers also have little unique summoning animations too.
Yeah, you can only do them once. That's kind of unfortunate. There's no summoner in this game. Everyone can summon espers once
Everyone
they become
does.
unlocked.
It's kind of the same thing that Seven does afterwards, where you have to equip the character with the summon.
Yeah, unless you have the mimic ability, and then you can just do mimic Knights of the Round nonstop. Did you guys enjoy the Colosseum in Final Fantasy VI?
Yes.
Yep.
I usually don't enjoy Colosseums. What was special about this one? I definitely know I did it, but I'm not sure if I ever
You
did
wagered
all of
an
it.
item, and then you would get another item if you
Hmm.
won that battle.
If there's an important like or powerful weapon, I might have done it from like a guide, but not organically, no.
Shadow, you have to fight Shadow in the Colosseum in order to recruit him in the World of Ruin.
Okay.
That's the only real story relevant part. Everything else is just kind of like collecting items in the game. Okay, well, what about the Ragnarok? Did you turn it into a sword or did you keep it
Never.
an Esper?
Oh, he's an Esper.
Oh yeah, then you give up a summon. No, thank you.
If
I'm
you
never giving up
uncurse
Ultima, damn it.
if you uncurse the Paladin shield, it'll teach you Ultima.
Yep. You have to
Sounds
do
familiar.
250 battles to you have to equip a ribbon as well, right? It's and then you have to do 250 battles and that
Yep.
unlocks the curse.
Yep.
Paladin shield's the best shield in the game. Anyone can equip it. And then
What's
yeah.
funny is even these things, like these like little side notes that you guys are, remembering, they already sound more intricate than the entire first three games.
Oh, they are.
They
For
are.
sure.
They are.
Hmm. Yes, good times.
What I think we had kind of alluded to it, but I really like the first half of Final Fantasy VI is like a streamlined kind of story where you go from, plot point to plot point. And then you get to the World of Ruin, and then it becomes kind of like a sandbox experience. So
It's open world.
it's like
Mm.
two different kinds of RPGs mixed into the same game, which is just fun. It
Yeah.
lets you get to pick and choose where you want to go once you get the airship.
You call it fun. That wasn't fun to me. And I know what you mean by that. Like it wasn't even fun like in a, oh, I get to do different things. The beginning of well, the breaking of the world of balance, that whole plot point when the world gets I mean, I think this was the first game that ever devastated me as a kid. And then I felt that devastation throughout the world of Ruin, like with Celis on the island and uh how like super lonely the game like makes you feel for a while, and then you have to walk this post-apocalyptic world and hopefully find your friends again. And
Pretty,
uh
yeah,
it's
pretty
so
emotional scene.
bleak. Yeah, the scene is, and then the whole, taken as a whole, it's also bleak. Like I don't think I've ever felt that devastated from any
I
game
mean, yeah,
before that.
Celis tries to commit suicide. Like she's once if you let Sid die, she thinks she's
Mhm.
the last person left
Why
alive
would you do that,
because
you
he's a bad
monster?
man.
Ugh.
He deserves it. And that's the Celis scene where she jumps off the cliff is more impactful than
Yeah,
Sid going, "Oh, I've got a raft here. You find your
uh,
friends."
it
I
feels like a canon in my mind that she takes that leap.
And then the bird with the bandana
Oh, geez. I
gives
mean,
her
they
a
really
little
went talk
little
about
glimpse of hope.
cinematic, and they went to some cinematic places with their sprites in that scene.
Hmm.
Yeah.
the first
Really cool.
time that I did that sequence when I was a teenager, I bawled my freaking eyes out.
When she jumps,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a powerful scene. It's
it's so sad.
yeah. And what I really like about the World of Ruin is the initial music of the World of Ruin is just so empty and
Hmm.
bleak and like it just sounds depressing. But then you get the airship
Oh, the
and the
airship
music
song is
changes
crazy good.
and it's just so emotional. Like there's the music, it just instills a
Yeah.
bit of hopefulness, and that the world's not over, your friends are still alive, you have the means to save them now, and you can travel the world, and you going around the world and everything's looking great, and then you get into a random encounter with Doomgaze and he murders your ass.
Well, the airship theme is just like crescendo that kind of like makes that mimics the like airships taking off and soaring into the
Yeah.
clouds kind of, you know?
Yeah. That was another thing I didn't like about the Pixar Remastered. They
Hmm.
actually put a block of like black hole on the world map, and
For
that's
Doom
where
Gaze.
Doomgaze is. In the original, you couldn't see him. He was just a random encounter. So like before
Yeah.
beating him, it was just kind of frantic. You're like, I need to get where I need to go because I'm not prepared to fight this guy right now. And in the Pixar Master, they kind of get rid of that like panic,
He
which some
was
people I guess like. I kind of enjoyed the unknown aspect of fighting Doomgaze anywhere.
he was still unique in that his HP was constant. Like when you
Yeah.
if you wore down a little bit in a battle before he ran away or you run away, then he won't have that HP the next time you face him.
Yep.
Speaking of Doomgaze, does anybody else agree? Ultros is kind of underrated. Too bad he never made any returns in any game after this.
Uncle Ulti.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no,
I I
he's a
have a
good mid
s-
boss
I
character.
You,
have a soft spot for Ultros.
yeah, you gotta have like a little recurring comic relief villain.
I mean, I think he does a good job. He's menacing at the beginning of the game when you're not that strong, and he's a joke near the end of the game when you're way too strong. And then he's like I think he's just in the Coliseum, like at the reception desk at the end of the
Hmm.
game. And Chupon, his friend, is one of the like gag fights that you can fight in the Coliseum. Like,
Is that the one he flies around with?
yeah,
Don't you have to fight them on the airship at some point?
yep. And he sneezes you away, and then you fall and fight the airship battle. And yeah, what did you guys think of General Leo? Did you think he was going to join
Yeah,
you?
I was about to
I
mention
was
him.
hoping.
I remember there being all
Something they
sorts
should
of
have added.
there was all sorts of like rumors before Final Fantasy VII and
Mhm.
like reviving Aerith. There was the, oh, if you did this a certain way, you could revive General Leo and he'd join you.
No. Oh man.
I tried all those methods. None of them worked. It's not possible. He had a move when he fought Kefka called Shock, which by the way, Gao can learn a rage that he can mimic that ability. So you
Huh.
can't quite get Leo, but you can use Leo's moves via Gao.
Well, I think we're ready for a roundtable. We've been at this for a while.
And even that, we've really truncated Final Fantasy VI a lot.
Yeah. Oh, let's take a brief break and then we'll come back. And welcome back to RPG Backtrack, where we are now getting into the roundtable, our personal thoughts, our feelings, our memories. Um, Changing it up this time around, since there's way too many characters to pick a favorite. So instead, well, I guess we moved that one down one. Never mind. When did you guys pick up the Pixel remasters? Have you played them all, and did you double or triple dip? I definitely did because I bought them all digitally and then I wanted them physically just for my collection. So I did import the Switch cart from Japan from PlayAsia because that was the only way to get it since Squeenix decided to print 40 copies and put them up at midnight. And then later on, Woot, Amazon's kind of clearance page had it for the PlayStation version for like $40. So I was like, well, I might as well pick it up again, just just to have the PlayStation version too. So yeah, I triple dipped. I did not bother with the PC or mobile versions though, even though I was tempted just because I thought that the console ones were never going to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand that. Oh, I might as well buy it again comment. I don't think I've ever said that.
Nor
If
have I, Pascal.
if I've ever bought a game more than once, it's been by accident, most likely, or or there was a good reason to. But I've never done it like, well, I already own this here where I can still like readily play it. But whatever. I'll just buy it. Like I've never done that necessarily. I also wait all the time. Like I waited for the for the physical Switch release on this.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, I lucked out with the physical edition. I eventually bought the digital when it was on deep discount just for convenience. But yeah, I did not originally buy it digitally at all. And I think actually I bought Final Fantasy VI only digitally and did not buy the others for ages.
I guess it's kind of nice that they do sell them as different SKUs digitally.
Yeah.
When
Yeah, go ahead.
when the PC versions were released, the stream team at RPGamer decided to divvy up 1 through 6 between, six of us. And I told the group like I'll play 2 or 3 because those are the only 2 games I had never beaten, and I got stuck with Final Fantasy 3. So I ended up playing that one first through the PC version, but then I bought. I think I also went to the PlayAsia route and got the Switch version that had the collection. And then once I got that version, I just played 1 through 6 in order, including Final Fantasy 3 again. So I've only played through them once, but Final Fantasy 3 somehow I've played twice.
And being a big Dragon Quest fan, I waited till Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 all had their HD 2Ds out and picked it up. I went back and looked and I got the Amazon had you can just get it now. The physical version, I picked it up last November, probably Black Friday or Cyber Monday or somewhere around there. So only had it for about half a year and finally just booted it up recently to play Final Fantasy 3 for this. And JRPG July.
Yeah, I actually, well, here's a ridiculous statement, but I actually gave a good bit of thought whether I wanted it on PlayStation or Switch. But at the end of the, like, being as like retro and throwback and pixel arty as they are, I decided that like Switch was probably the way I wanted to, and also grindy. I should add into the mix because they're, as grindy as I figured they probably were going to be. Decided Switch was the better way to go. It means I don't get any trophies for any of those things you talked about earlier with like, getting all the rages for Gao or whatever, but that's okay.
You just have to double dip, and then you can do that.
Nope.
Trophies are overrated.
I'm not even, and I think I said this earlier, I'm not even convinced that I'm going to play any of them again after this on the Switch collection. Some or all of them, I might just be very happy just to, one time, and that's good enough. Considering I haven't played most of them at all, that'll do me.
Going from 0 to 1 is a big enough
Yeah.
accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't need to go from 0 to 2 yet. Wait till the Pixel 3 masters come out in like 25 years.
So, do we have a favorite one favorite moment spanning across 6 games?
Opera scene.
Opera scene. I cry like a bitch every single time without fail.
Oh, Maria.
Yeah,
That was actually a pretty good impression.
every time.
So is it
done
better
that.
now? Is the opera like? Would you say the opera scene now, or would that have been your answer on the original release too?
Original.
Original is
Okay.
classic. The
So
the Pixar Remaster does a good job though. I don't
But it's
think
not
they
like
let it go.
elevated to a new high or anything like that. It's not like it's suddenly your favorite scene.
No, that's no.
No.
I've just seen it way too much. So
Yeah.
but my favorite moment is beating Final Fantasy IV and finding out Kain is actually a blonde. That was kind of a shock when he's sitting on Mount Ordeals with his helmet off and his blonde hair is just whipping in the wind.
Again, how is Kane and Cecil not like a romantic thing for you? I've heard you multiple times discuss them as like, I think you called Cecil a beautiful man earlier, and now Kane, like you're just, you're
I fail to
over
see
the
the
moon that
connection
he's a
there.
blonde, and
I fail to see the connections here.
You don't see him? All right. That's okay. You don't want to see him. That's fine. I don't know what my favorite moment, I have no clue. Probably just finishing and finishing the remasters will mean I've gotten most of the series under my belt with very few exceptions. So it'll probably just be that'll be like my favorite moment being done with the series for after how many years? No, not in a bad way at all.
No,
Like,
You're making it sound like,
you
you're making
finally
it sound
did
like these games are homework.
No.
Finally,
I did not mean to. I mean, like, Final Fantasy was like my go-to. Like, if you had told me anybody on the development staff, right, Uematsu for the music, you name it, Sakaguchi, whatever. If you had told me, you know what? So far as even just saying Square, SquareSoft has a new game. That's it, day one or however. Well, as a kid, there's no day one. I'm buying it. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't like I bought the Square fighting game Bushido Blade. Like I bought anything Square in large part based on Final Fantasy VI and like what it meant to me. So no, definitely don't mean that like cynically at all.
This man said Bushido Blade.
Yeah,
Dedication right there, my man.
I said I had it. I didn't say I did anything with it.
It was fun for a bit.
Yeah, for one hit.
Yeah.
And then the fun wears off after the first hit, after the first
The
death.
funnest thing was realizing that when you're playing like against someone, you could actually explore through all the stages. So I would just run away from the other player.
Run away. Yeah, no, don't mean it as homework at all, but like just filling a gap in my cultural background.
All right. Well, since I only played the one game, I'll tell you my 2 favorite moments in that game. In the Viking base in Final Fantasy III, there's just a random cannon pointed out at the water, and if you walk up to it and press the interact button, it actually shoots a cannonball off. I totally didn't expect that. I just kind of walked up and was like, "What's this?" And I think somebody comments on it like, "Oh, look at that." And then there was another scene in one of the bars. I just walked up and because I'm talking to everybody, I talked to the person on the piano, and it suddenly started this whole dance sequence.
There's a lot of dance sequences in these pixel Final Fantasy games.
Final Fantasy IV is pretty famous for him.
And see, it's been so long. When I went back and looked, because I read a list of every game I've ever played and or at least ever beat, and when it happens, I have not beat rolled credits on a Final Fantasy game in 18 and a half years.
Wow.
I went back and looked, I was like, oh my. And I think that was Final Fantasy 12 way back.
Well, if you think about like to your previous comment, like with the dancing and the canon and stuff, like if you think about where the Final Fantasy games are now, like very serious, they're serious affairs. And I guess the first few Final Fantasies were kind of on the serious side too, but I some of them for six for sure. Like there are times when, and that's a pretty dramatic story, but where the writers dip into a little bit of like a little bit of humor now and then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think some of the newer ones still do a bit of humor. I'm mainly thinking of the Final Fantasy VII remakes, so that probably doesn't count.
I was thinking of 16, and I don't remember too much humor in that one.
Well, that's because that game is off.
So serious. Everybody's so serious.
Hey, but the kaiju battles are fun.
No,
Are they fun?
no,
Yeah.
They're
no, no,
They
no.
fuse and then they fight Bahamut in space. That's cool.
No, my Final Fantasy 16 is actually Fantasian. I don't acknowledge the official Final Fantasy 16.
Still need to play that.
It's fun.
So do we have a favorite character from these first six games? I have to clarify first six because my favorite character of all time is in seven.
Who
But
is it?
Kane is my favorite character in the Final Fantasy series. Yeah,
I have to say Locke. I think he's a fun character.
because he stole your heart.
No, he's kind of at times the comic relief in that game, and then you see his backstory, and then yeah.
Yeah.
What was his fiance's name or girlfriend?
Oh
Rachel.
God, I'm terrible. Yes, Rachel. I'm awful at remembering
Rachel.
names.
He tries to revive her using the Phoenix.
And he does for like a minute. It's a pretty heartbreaking scene.
Hmm. I will say, we had kind of glanced over this. The first airship you get in Final Fantasy VI, the Blackjack, I was upset in the original game and in the Pixel Remaster. You are flying around in a casino and you don't have access to any casino games. Come on, Square. What's going on? What's up with that?
Very true.
It was before the merger, so they couldn't, go bug the Dragon Quest
Right?
developers
Yeah.
to make
If
some
Enix
casino
had
games.
made that game, that it would
Yeah.
be filled with all sorts of casino games.
But then again, why did this remaster is after the merger? Why couldn't they work in some casino games? This is awful.
Even Dragon
Missed
Quest doesn't really
opportunity.
get the casino games anymore.
No, well,
It's
that
gambling.
sucks.
Can't do
If-
that.
If
Just
Enix
like in
had made-
Pokemon.
if Enix had made that game, there would have been some puff on that airship.
Yeah, there would. I did not have a favorite character from 13.
I mean, you're three.
I don't have a favorite character in Final Fantasy
Oh, 3,
13
yeah,
either.
yeah.
Who is your favorite character from 13 then? Since you
one.
bring it up.
I don't
None
have
of
that
the
either.
above.
Hope. That's obviously Hope.
Hope. Oh, I'm sure you like Hope. Okay.
No one likes Hope.
Okay. I was gonna say,
He's
is it-
I
supposed
hope
to.
you're kidding.
have I
Yes,
never
he's-
spoken to you before? This like if you're being serious right now, I don't know who I'm talking to.
He's supposed to be annoying because he's a kid.
I'm also kind of blanking on who would be a favorite character for. I just haven't played enough of them to say.
I know it's Bannon is your favorite character
Oh, the old man.
with his crazy hair.
I do like him for the 5 minutes that you get to play as him.
Did you like having him be your instant game over if he dies?
I couldn't have told you that that's what happened. So no, I don't think I like that in any game ever. Is your instant game over? Okay. Yes, I did like that to answer your question. Now I
In
love
fact,
him
that's
all.
my favorite.
Yeah, now I know why I liked him so much. Okay.
All right.
I gotta say, I think mine is Edgar from 6, just because I'm always a sucker for a ladies' man, and I think that he is pretty charismatic in that game, and the fact that he's a king and it's not you don't really play kings in RPGs very often.
King and an engineer. His tools are pretty useful in the beginning of the game.
They're pretty game breaking.
I love that he gets the Jason mask and then just
Yeah,
starts
yeah, the
swinging his
chainsaw.
chainsaw around.
I was just thinking that.
Okay,
I feel like
When-
calling out one favorite character from 6 would be negating too many other ones, so I can't do it.
So when was the last time you'd played these Final Fantasies before the remaster or before these?
Well,
Uh,
I
Right
played
before.
I played the Super Nintendo versions on the Twitch channel
Mhm.
within the last couple of years. So those relatively recent. Final Fantasy 3 relatively recent. 1 and 2 I probably played on the Game Boy 10, 15 years ago or so.
And for me, I mentioned earlier, it'd been 18 and a half years since I beat any game. But yeah, 20 years ago through like right 2001 through 2006, I played all these on the various ports that were accessible back then. The PlayStation 1 version, the GBA versions, 3 and 4 I played on the DS. So it had been a good long time.
The last time I played any of them on the Pixel remasters was when we were starting the recording tonight. The last time I played anything outside of the Pixel remasters was back when on the Super Nintendo, when the Super Nintendo was still like the current console. And that
Wow.
would have been two a little bit, but obviously, well, see how I slipped back into calling it two? When it's on the Super Nintendo, that's what it's called, damn it. Two and three, so four and six. Uh, and how old was I? I don't even know how many years ago. Probably more than 18, because Scar, remember how you were talking about the renaming of the characters earlier?
Yeah.
The last time I played six, I was still young enough to where renaming your character means you're going to come up with all sorts of fun names to put in there.
Like fart.
Yup, like
Fart leveled
butt.
up.
Yep. So I had a cast of 14 uh, ensemble team members named, yeah, things like, I don't know, fart knocker and butt cheek and stuff like, and I thought that was hilarious. And that's how old I was last time I played Final Fantasy VI.
Oh,
So
that reminds me. When I did Final Fantasy 3, Kelly, you were my white mage turned into a sage, and I had Josh in there too. I named him after the people I hung out with this summer. It was Josh and you, and then a Star Trek podcaster I met in Denver. Jesse, those were my three party members other than me.
awesome.
Fun.
Was I a good white mage?
You did very well.
No, you
Yay.
were the
You
best.
provided sage advice. Ah,
I feel like the last time I had played any of these games was on the PSP when they had released. Well, when
Mm.
I basically when I brought my PSP everywhere with me and just marathoned one through four.
nice.
Yeah, well, like I said, I love the PSP versions of these games, and I kind of, to be honest, I kind of wish they would have just ported those over.
Yeah,
uh,
especially for four, because then you would have gotten the after years.
Hmm.
well, this hasn't been mentioned at all yet, but the PSP ones weren't the ones with the horrible font, were they?
No, those are
No,
this
that's
version.
That's
these
these.
games.
Yeah.
That's just these? Nothing before these? Not
No.
even like, okay. I thought that was, I know we haven't mentioned the font yet, but God, that's a topic that that's very important to me. Get rid of that font.
It didn't bother me, but maybe they had already updated it by the time I played it.
Yeah, definitely now, well, by the time I got around to it, has the choice to switch it off, and that's the first thing I pick in any game.
Supposedly, the reason for that is because the iPhone had a limited font choice,
Yeah,
apparently,
I
which
figured it was something.
I think is stupid.
You don't think it's true, or you just think it's
No, no,
ridiculous?
I think it's stupid that one port
Uh,
kind of screwed up the whole thing, and that I guess they couldn't fix it that well on on the console versions.
I mean, to me, that's just proof that I'm old. The fact that the
Yeah,
font makes that much of a difference to me.
yeah. So what's our personal ranking?
I'll start. I at six. I think most of us are going to put that there. I put one second. I went 6-1, 5-3 because I love jobs. And then 4-2. I never played four back in the day when I was young, and it was all right when I eventually got around to it. But 6-1-5, 3-4-2.
One is your second favorite.
Got a lot of nostalgia for that.
Wow.
I really enjoy it, and it
Yeah.
had a job system too, so it was fun. I love the jobs.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Wait, we're
Go,
not talking
go ahead,
Persona
Kel.
5.
We can just go down the list.
Because I think for me, six, four, because those were the first Final Fantasies I had ever played.
Mhm.
Though I played 4 first and 6 second, but 6 resonated with me more. And then 1, because for me that's a very comfort game. I love booting that up and just playing through it when I feel I've got nothing else really interesting I want to play. And then just having to kind of put the last 3 towards the end, 5, 3, and 2.
Mm.
I unfortunately 2 is my least favorite, not because I hate it, but just because it sticks with me the least.
Yeah, I'm noticing a trend.
Hmm.
My rankings, I've got 4 at the top of the mountain, and everything is kind of way down on the lower echelon. Uh, 4 is my favorite game of all time, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be hard for anything to be better than that. Then I've got 6, and then I put 1 and then 5, but those are pretty interchangeable. Those are pretty fun games in my mind, so I guess it just depends. What I want to play. If I want to play something with a job class, I'll put 5 in front. If I want just like a traditional RPG, then 1. And then 3, and then following the trend, 2 as the least favorite.
All right, who's
Pascal?
next? Me?
You,
Okay, well,
Pascal.
trend about to be broken then. I'm going to reserve judgment on 3, 4, and 5 because I haven't played them at all. And 4, I've played a little bit, but not enough and so long ago. I don't think that's fair. It'll probably be up there if I do play when I do play it. So I'll rank the other 3 just to be fair. I'm gonna go 6, 2, 1. I thought 1 was like way better than I thought it would be, but the design improvements in 2 probably will put it over 1.
All right.
And I mean, just like Scar, you were saying about 4, so 6 is up in the space station orbiting Earth right now, and 1 and 2 are like standing next to each other on the ground, looking
Watching.
up. Yeah, I mean, these are not they're not close. It's just that's the order. That's all I can do.
Wheels.
I'm gonna go 6, obviously number 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, and 1. And I'm putting 1 at the bottom because I think all the various versions from the original kind of make it too easy. Well, some of them don't make it too easy, but this one in particular is just not the best way to play this game as compared to 2, which I think is a good way to play 2. So
Yeah, no,
depending,
that's
other
fair.
versions they may get switched, but here it's 2 than 1 for me.
Yeah, I will
Fair
say
enough.
that if you are going to play Final Fantasy 2, this is probably the best way to play it. There are better ways to play some of these other Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
So Wheels, you're except for 5, yours is exactly in like reverse release order. Like they got better after every release.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah, because
because
he
I
said
put
5, 3, 2,
3.
1.
I put 3 before
Oh,
5.
he said 3 before 5. He did say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think 5 is the only one out of order.
Yeah.
But then I think the rest of them followed pretty much going backwards.
Yeah.
Was that everybody?
That's everyone.
I
Does-
believe so.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
And since we're talking about specifically, I'm assuming most of us bought them as a package for the Pixel remasters. And then somebody like me who's not played most of them, is there one that you would say people like me should skip or play them all, even the one at the bottom?
No,
Play 'em
I
all.
mean, if you've never
Play 'em
played
all.
them, yeah, play them
Yeah.
all.
So like even the worst one is good enough to.
Yeah.
They're experiences.
Yeah.
We all put 2 at the back end.
No,
and you
I
put
think
a-
Wheels.
I did.
Oh,
I
Wheels
did.
did. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean mine was still at
Sorry.
the back end, but
You put it in the middle. You put it
Yeah,
dead
it's also
center.
near the front too, though.
yeah, it's just as much. It's just as close to 6 as it is to 1.
Yep.
Oh, he really likes
Even
Final
though they're
Fantasy
standing
2.
on the ground looking up at the sky.
6 is my favorite game ever, and Final Fantasy 2 is exactly
behind
half
it.
as good. Yeah, it's my second favorite game.
It's just science, man.
It says Final
Hasn't
Fantasy.
even finished it yet. I mean, yeah, that's
Pretty
No,
similar.
I
the
haven't.
mathematics don't lie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I will say,
finally.
with
Oh,
with
go ahead.
with these pixel remasters, a lot of these sprites were something you saw in the gacha game Final Fantasy Record Keeper, including the games beyond Final Fantasy VI. So I always thought if these games sold well, it would make sense that Square released pixel remasters for 7, 8, 9, and 10, and those would make so much money. But I don't know if they really want to go through the effort of like emulating those games.
I was gonna say, yeah, they would have to remake them from the ground up and just that they're canceling Ever Crisis at the end of the year, and that was like a was kind of had updated textures from Final Fantasy VII, and that's what people wanted, and they're just so stupid with that.
Well,
I,
yeah,
I
I mean,
guess I
the
guess
gotcha
what I'm
games are
saying.
destined to fail, so that was bound to happen.
I think that's going to end up as an offline game like some of their others kind of have.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would be shocked if it doesn't end up like that.
agreed. But did these
Um,
Pixel remasters sell well? Like, it would make sense if they just kept it going with newer games. People would
Uh,
definitely buy them.
I mean, it would make sense. I think it's a lot harder than these are since you're remaking a game.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of the like graphics in, some of their mobile games that they could just kind of just borrow to use as something. I know it's still take a
I
lot
mean,
of work.
that's
Yeah.
something. I mean, you have to there's so much more they'd have to try and figure out, and I
Who
don't think it's probably worth it.
who wouldn't want to play Blitzball in like pixel
Oh, I
graphics?
do that.
I would
I
not.
do that in a heartbeat.
I'm fine with the actual remasters of those games.
But Scar, you weren't you listening earlier when we were I don't know if this was maybe off mic, but if they had sold well, then Sony wouldn't be canceling physical media right now.
Oh
Well, they
yeah.
didn't even make these physically, basically, to begin with.
See? So it was doomed from the
So,
beginning.
my deep research online shows that these have surpassed over 6 million sales.
Oh
So,
wow.
for in general, the answer is yes. For Square Enix, they're like, screw it, kill that project.
Yeah, those are good numbers.
Square Enix thinks they're probably horrible.
Who knows?
That's the joke. No matter
Yeah, I
what,
know.
Square Enix is always a.
Didn't that start with Tomb Raider when they owned Tomb Raider?
Yeah, Tomb Raider sold 2 million and they thought that was a disappointment.
And it eventually sold a lot more.
Crazy. That's a good
But
game.
yeah, it was like this dormant series you just brought back. You don't want to give it any time whatsoever. I don't know.
So lastly, want to ask, do we have any memories specifically tied to the Pixel remasters?
Only rushing to buy that special edition. That's about it.
You must
This
have been already on like Q&A quest and happened to be staying up late anyway, and then saw that it dropped and kind of lost your shit trying to get the stuff. Am I right?
I I I mean, I'm usually up late anyway, but I think someone tipped me off to it, and I was able to get on there and just grab a copy.
Gotcha.
I mean, I always just put your name, Kelly, because you pre-order everything and then I'll just pick it up. That's how I get everything on every collector's edition. I can be sure there's a copy waiting for me because you've already pre-ordered.
I don't pre-order everything, just stuff relevant to my interests that I want to play for our various shows.
Well, if you pre-ordered it, it's probably something I will enjoy, so I'll have to make sure to always snatch it up as soon as it comes out.
That's a good plan.
I mean,
As far as my memories, uh, I remember when I was flying to Japan, 14-hour flight. I could fall asleep anywhere except for planes, apparently. So I'm up. I don't know what I want to do. I t yank out my Switch, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna spend this plane ride trying to see how fast I can beat the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So I go to boot up Link to the Past and learn that that's the day that I learned that you have to have an internet connection to play the Switch Online Classics. And of course, I had not signed up for plain Wi-Fi because I didn't think I would need it. So I'm like, well, shit, I don't feel like playing anything else. You know what? I'm gonna put some time into Final Fantasy V because I was playing all of them in order, and I stopped at 5 and got distracted with other shiny objects, and
Hmm.
spent a good chunk of that plane ride just leveling up jobs. And thank God for that pixel remaster because I was so pissed about the online thing that I don't know how I was going to occupy myself for the next 7 hours because sleep just wasn't on the table. But that's my most associative memory with these specific games.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kel. I took a long time to play these games, but basically, whenever I went on vacation, I just brought my Switch with me, and I would just pick up on whatever Final Fantasy I was playing, previously. So they were, um, a lot of them were my vacation, waste time, because I could also not go to sleep on planes, and just try to spend time not paying attention to how long these flights are taking.
So I just played it a couple weeks ago, so not super exciting. But one thing, gotta go back to my Dragon Quest roots. These games were announced like 3 weeks after Yuji Horii mentioned that Dragon Quest 3 would get the 2D HD treatment. He said that in May of 2021, and then in June, these get announced at E3. Um, and I know he hinted back then. There's a guy with the whistle that when he was hinting that maybe if we do Dragon Quest 3, we'll also do 1 and 2. And with that statement, and then the fact that a month later, Square Enix is like, oh, by the way, we redid all 6 Final Fantasies. I needed to get that Kashi app or whatever. For 5 years I was positive we were getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 because I was like, there's no way they do all 6 Final Fantasies and they can't even frickin' do Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Like, you're gonna have all the assets. There's no way. Like, everybody's like, oh well, it's not confirmed. I'm like, no, I don't believe you. It is confirmed. And it wasn't even what he said, it was the fact that they did 6 Final Fantasies. I was like, that's it. This collection made me understand, like, or convince me 100%, like, the whole Zenithian trilogy is coming out. Not Zenithian, the Erdrick one, the OG.
It did
So.
eventually.
It did, yeah. I mean, I said it for 5 years. I'm like, it's coming, it's coming. Then, finally, I think it was last summer we finally got told. No, it was 2 summers ago we found out that we'd be getting 1 and 2 after they finally gave the date for 3.
If the Pixel remasters had looked as good as Dragon Quest does with the HD 2D remakes, I don't think I'd have any gripes with them. They'd look like brand new games.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the Nintendo games, they got a nice touch up. The Super Nintendo games, they got things
Yeah.
done to them.
Things
But like,
choices were made.
if you look at the difference between Dragon Quest on the Nintendo and then the Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes, it's
Oh.
night and day.
And I mean, they
it's a
did
beautiful
story
game.
sequences. They
Yeah.
added, yeah. No, it was definitely a bigger body of work to do those.
Yep.
I get it. All right. Was that everybody?
I believe that was everybody. That is a show.
That is a show
That
in
is-
Spanish.
Hasta las semanas.
Well, that being said, thank you, Ryan and Pascal and Wheels, for hanging out with us tonight.
Always a pleasure.
As well as thank you for enduring the audible I had to call because of scheduling conflicts and all of that fun stuff.
I was like, hey,
Yeah.
wasn't I here just last week?
Maybe.
Scar was already on deck.
Guys, wrangling cats for this show can be hard sometimes, and I'm a professional cat wrangler, so I know. But also thank you to Matt, who I could not do the show without.
All good. I'm always
Is
happy
he
to be
the-
here.
Is he
Oh,
the
good.
Gilgamesh to your Odin or
Yes.
whatever? I don't know who's the character that always messes with Gilgamesh? I don't even know.
I can't remember
Isn't there
either.
a specific character that he has like fights with?
Yeah, he fights with like a bird monster. I can't remember the
Bird
name.
monster. Oh, it's not at all what I was thinking then. Okay. Is he
He
the
has like
bird
he has like
monster
a
to your
companion bird, like Ekinu or something like that.
It's
I can't
completely different
remember.
from what I was thinking. All right.
And of course, thank you, dear listener. We are going to have Yakuza next week, or sorry,
In
in
2
2
weeks.
weeks, assuming that we won't have to also call an audible.
Heck yeah.
That sounds like a dragon.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Infinite.
Oh,
Sounds like one, but
it's not going to be a dragon to record though.
well.
Never is. Anyways, thanks guys for hanging out. Tune in a pair of weeks where we're going to talk about some Like a Dragon, and we shall catch you later.
Peace.